just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, and what a break we had the Australian cricket side dominate the English. We've had transfers. We've had Zac Lomax potentially at the Storm. I mean, we've had Keon going to the Dragons. We've had Matty having dreams about the Roosters winning premierships. It has all been happening in the off-season, but something that has been bothering me since the start of the Ashes, and I've been tossing and turning, just thinking about this. It's been killing me, and I thought, you know what? Hammy's a perfect person, because you're a puns kind of guy.
Yeah, I am.
Now,
get that required pun rate up nice and early.
Is it play on to ask the missus for a bit of Travis Head? Or is that another bloke in your bedroom?
Slug?
Is it play on?
All-rounder.
To ask the missus for a bit of Travis Head?
Oh, look, that's probably a little bit beyond, a little bit uncouth.
What are you talking about?
I
was just going to ask the missus to do some shapes at the end of the bed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Or to turn the TV on to watch Travis?
Yeah.
Off another better than a runnable ton?
Very uncouth.
That's what you're talking about.
That's an uncouth entry from you this year.
I didn't know where that double entendre was going. You know, could have really been anywhere. What you get up to in the Christmas break's up to you, but... Yeah, if you want to put the TV on and watch the great man get about his work and dominate the Poms, absolutely.
So, listen, I need the people to tell me, is it uncouth to ask the missus for a bit of Travis Head? Is it uncouth? What do you reckon, Timmy?
Not at all. And if she doesn't,
You're a sicko.
If she doesn't understand it, then, well, you got to reassess a few things.
Oh, that's the good stuff, mate. Boys, I hope you enjoyed your break, but let's just get straight into it. This
Just
year we're
quietly, before we get straight
okay,
into
well,
it.
okay.
Hammy, you've started the year on fire. I'm just going to go through to the keeper a little bit, but required pun rate, that's good from you straight off the bat.
Yeah, Matty kind of laughed off, at the back of the
That was
studio.
good.
I thought it was great.
That's all I wanted. I just knock a quick single to mid off.
Yeah.
Get off
Get the
strike,
confidence.
Get a quick single in.
Yeah.
Away we go.
Get the nerves out.
Get off strike. Get out the other end. So thank you though.
That's
Appreciate
right.
it.
Let's face a bit of music, mate.
Let's do it. All right. So we had a bit of an interrupted Ashes series with actually, let me get the. Where's my manners? Get the boombox up.
How dare you, sir?
Start the year right.
Forgot where you came from, mate.
That's right. So a bit of a disrupted Face the Music season because obviously we kind of broke just before the Gabba test. We did put a couple of picks in then. Den and Matty and Roo all had Mitchell Starc to be the top wicket taker in that game. That's the only thing we kind of hit. But I mean, there is notably one person not here today.
Yeah,
the great Roo.
Interesting.
Because something extra was put on the line between you two for Face the Music.
Started by him too.
Started by him. So he basically gave you the option to have Travis Head to be the top run scorer for the summer, which was paying $3 just before the Gabba test. He took Steve Smith. Now the bet was if you won, Roo would have to shave his head. If Roo won, you would have to get a full fake tan, do the full show as Donald Trump, which I would have personally have loved to have seen. But Smith didn't play the fourth test, so we've probably been robbed of that opportunity. But I mean, Travis Head had a hell of a summer. And, we can only assume that the reason that Roo's not here today is he's getting that dome shaved.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because if a man comes steaming at you like that, you want to turn up. You don't want to chat when you've got nothing on, champion.
100%.
And it sounds like when there was nothing on the line, he was weeks away from the result being announced. Nothing was on. He had a lot to say. Now when something's on, he's got nothing to say because he's not even here.
Yeah, you said it. Well, if you're watching, Roo, you only put bets on when there's nothing going on. Cop that.
Cop that.
Thoughts?
Cop that, mate. It makes sense. Roo, he's weak-gutted. He's a weak-gutted dog.
He is.
He's a weak-gutted dog.
I'm looking forward to seeing him next week with a bit of a Darren Lehman sort of inspired look, which will be very exciting. But have you enjoyed the summer cricket though, Kemp? You've been watching a lot of it.
Big cricket guy.
Yeah,
Big cricket guy.
yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about footy today, but I just want to maintain we are a cricket podcast.
Yeah,
we are a cricket
such a big
podcast.
cricket guy. In fact, I thought I'd better share this message with everyone here and the people at home.
Hang on a sec. I mean, this is a bit uncouth.
Yeah.
This was sent in secrecy. This was sent in vulnerability.
Yep.
They tell you to open up to your mates.
Yep.
That's what they tell you. I've opened up to you.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm about to be betrayed.
Yeah, I've respected the embargo. It's been embargoed since, when was this, the 12th of December? So it's been a month. I think the time is right for this to be shared.
Oh, this would be good.
So
bro.
this was some DMs that were sent to Kempy from the Sydney Sixers. Big backside. Hey, mate, just asking if you'd be keen to bowl the first ball of our first home game of the season on the 17th of December. I wish, legends, But I live in Sydney now. Plus, it'll be the worst bowl of all time. We're the Sydney Sixers. It's at the SCG. We'd love to have you there, and we can put you up in the Sixers Lounge to watch the game. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. My God, I thought it was Brizzy. I just saw BBL and for some reason thought Brisbane. Let me speak to the missus and get back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Cricket.
Hang on a second. In my
that's
defence, it just says at Sixers. It doesn't have the Sydney part in the tag. In my defence.
That's probably the flimsiest defence I've seen since Ollie Pope.
Man, I was so embarrassed, bro. I've been. Oh my God, bro! I was so embarrassed, man. I couldn't believe when they were like, "We're in Sydney." You know when your heart drops when something bad happens.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me. I was just like, "Oh my God, bro! You're supposed to be like a sports person.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be a sports person." I guess. Look, it drives the fact home when I say I didn't know anything about cricket. I didn't know anything about cricket.
Yep.
I've never ever gone onto a cricket pitch and batted in my life.
Yeah.
That's how much I don't know. I mean, the first time I've been in the nets was when we made that content when I got the spirit of Gary in me.
Yeah.
So listen, that's really embarrassing. There's not much I can say to that. There's not much I can say to that. Look, one way I can kind of push it for you is I'm pure rugby league, baby. If that doesn't show you that I'm pure rugby league, I don't know what would. To not know where the Sixers are just shows that I'm so deep in the game that I don't care about anything else.
Can't argue with that. Are we going to get the chance? Are we going to get to see you roll the arm over?
I mean,
a lot of content creators doing it over the summer.
Yeah,
love to see what you got in the kit bag.
Yeah, look,
Sydney smashed this
next
Friday.
summer. I'll try and work something out.
Get back in the nets for a second time and practice that bowling.
Yeah, it's got a bit of practice. Just get something under my belt. But next summer I'll try and do something.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I'll
try and do something next summer for sure.
The bar's very low. There's not a lot of pressure, and I've seen like
Jordan Ricky,
Nikita Zoo was up there with one of the best. Jordan Ricky was a Barry.
Matt Denny was shocking. The discus
Yeah.
style.
Hammy was okay. The hammer was okay, but obviously
right.
the worst is Dan Orange.
If you get it,
Which one?
If you get it within 10 metres of the stumps, like you're better than half the people who attempt it. So
Yeah. Dan Orange, we all saw the viral clip.
Yes, both of them.
Fellows, the Nepo baby of Sportsbet.
That's him, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Yep. No, very far. I just liked his comment on the post that they put up, just saying, just giving the selectors something to think about.
It was, mate.
If he's got an English passport, he might get a run in the next Ashes.
Does he have an English passport?
Well, if he does, they're desperate.
Yeah, okay. They are desperate. You know what? You know what we'd know? At least he'd have a dig.
Yes,
have a dig.
he would.
There'd be no moral victories at least.
No, there wouldn't. Certainly not.
Okay, so is that Face the Music?
That's Face the Music.
Okay,
At the end of the
there you
show,
go.
we just get a little bit of big bash, get the crystal ball out and get ourselves to the end of the season. But that's basically it. So looking forward to seeing Rue's freshly shaved dome next week.
Yep.
And looking forward to getting a couple of bets in, which you can obviously follow on the feed as well.
Okay, let's get straight into some other stuff. The KO can't miss moment, and you can't miss this because rugby league, it's a gift that always gives. It always gives, and it keeps on giving. The KO can't miss moment is Zac Lomax situation. Boys, when we talk about soap opera, when we talk about just a lot going on when it didn't need to be a lot going on, this is it. You know what? This almost is a microcosm of rugby league. When you think about how many unnecessary things have happened, but it's almost going to turn into one of the bigger dramas of the season. That's rugby league. So anyway, Zac Lomax, for people that have been living under a rock or been so deep in cricket like I have been with the Sixers. So Parramatta have rejected Melbourne's audacious bid to sign Zac Lomax on an immediate deal. It's understood that the Storm requested permission from the Eels in recent weeks to talk to Lomax. The Eels instantly rejected the initial request based on the conditional release they granted Lomax in November. So what that was, guys, is that when they said, okay, you've been pushing to be released to potentially go and play rugby for who knows what. If we give you this release, you agree that you can't play for any other club than the Eels unless we give you permission to do so. So, agreed to by both parties. Yep, all looking good. Anyway, I'm not sure what's happened in the meantime other than obviously, R360 is being pushed back. Pushed back. I don't think it'll turn up. But anyway, being pushed back. Okay. So that's the conditions. However, these discussions with the Storm are set to continue because they're still keen on landing a 26-year-old who is without a contract for this season. The Eels retain Lomax's rugby league rights despite agreeing to release him just 19 games into a 4-year deal at the end of last season. Lomax requested and was granted an immediate exit from the Eels, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's also been reported that lawyers have been engaged. Now, I don't have that confirmed, but it has been reported. Like, I'm not making something up. It's been reported that lawyers have been engaged on the Lomax side to potentially push further for this to happen. Now, there have also been rumours of a player swap between Lomax and Jack Howarth. Let's just start at the top of Lomax potentially wanting to come back into the NRL and play again. It feels really wrong. It feels really unfair to the Eels. Now, I'm torn between a rock and a hard spot because I don't not want Lomax in the game. He's a bloody good player. He played for his state, played for his country. He adds to the game by being a part of it. But it doesn't really sit right that this is... Let's say it was a year, I could probably stomach it. Okay, you went to Union. It didn't really work out for you. Come back, you're a leaguey. It's just the pace at which this has happened that doesn't sit right for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's all a bit smelly. My understanding is that the Storm are pretty confident that they'll have Zac Lomax to start this season. Whether or not that's round one against Parramatta, that's probably that's another story.
Jeez.
But yeah, let's
stick on the initial.
Yeah, I suspect that Zac Lomax will beat the Melbourne Storm this year. The only losers out of this are, of course, the Parramatta Eels.
Let's stick on the initial him wanting to come back into the game so quickly.
I mean, yeah, the way things have transpired with... He's left the Eels. He not probably thought he was on unders at the Eels. He was on unders because they took a punt on him when he was at the Dragons and he was
left the Dragons.
Okay. Yeah. And then he came out and turned into a world beater. So,
to be fair, he came out in a world beater at the Dragons. Left the Dragons early though, a year early. Yep.
Yeah. You know, Eels, I don't know if you call it take a punt on him, but got him, played through his skin. Like, he was unbelievable. And he's gone, I can probably get more money elsewhere. R360 popped up. He said, happy days, I'm going to go and cash in, as he has the right to do, give or take the contract situation leaving.
And the Eels grant it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Good on them. Like, they didn't have to do that. They went, no, screw it, we don't want to be part of this. Go on, get your money, happy days. So for him to be back there in the NRL within a few months of leaving, that's obviously what doesn't sit right. I think he'll be playing for the Melbourne Storm in round 2.
Hammy.
Wow.
Thoughts on, we'll get to the Melbourne Storm situation.
Yeah.
Thoughts just on the pace. Do you agree with me in the sense that if it was a year or so, I'd be like, okay, when did his thing?
Yep.
You know, okay, okay, let's come back. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think if you went and had a crack at it and, it didn't work out or whatever, it'd be an easy one to swallow. But the Eels, they've got a leg to stand on here, really. Like, they're in a strong position with it all because they signed him and, that was part of the contract is you can't go elsewhere or... That's it. Once the term of this contract is up, then you would be welcome to come back and play for another NRL club. So they've already both of them have agreed to that. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of all plays out. But yeah, otherwise it's just like a little bit of a flimsy loophole that other players could probably use to...
Would the contracts mean anything?
No.
Like, I know Lomax is not the sole person that has done this.
Where I'm a little torn on at Kempy is just, I would like to know details around how locked into R360 he was. Had he had a contract? Had he signed a contract? Any of this? Because if that's the case, then in his defence, and it's going to be hard to defend him in different spots here, but he had the contract, he went, and then this whole competition that was promised fell through. Like, he didn't predict that. It's fallen through, and now he wants to play footy somewhere, and NRL's his home. I
will say, though, it's not like it came out of nowhere that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
A lot of people
I
know, his defence. Because I'm with you. It is a defence.
Yeah,
he had an expectation and it changed.
And if he had it and he'd signed a contract or was all bar locked in, good to go, and then they said, this actual competition is imploded. Now, due diligence comes into these sorts of things. There are lots of players that were lured by it, but they said something doesn't sit right, and they waited, and then the news came out, whereas by the sounds of it, Zac Lomax, he obviously went too early without probably finding out the true nature of the competition and what was behind it. And he was obviously lured by the money, and good on him, why wouldn't you be? That's where I'm just like... How much did he look into what's behind R360 and all of that?
The thing with that, though, is like, who's advising Lomax? Unless there is a bank guarantee with a contract, boom, there it is. Even if the contract should have said this with Lomax, even if the comp doesn't go through, you are paying my client his full contract. Now, maybe that has happened. I don't know, but I doubt it because I don't think he'd be pushing this hard to get straight back in if he just got paid $4 or $5 million or whatever it would have been.
And while due diligence is important from the player, like you're grown up, you need to do your own homework. players are putting faith in managers to do
it's manager's
the
job.
business side.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's literally his profession. It's almost like asking a player to be his own lawyer.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can read it. Like I know people say, oh, read the contract, bro. Go and read a contract and come back to me and tell me you totally understand that
It's
with
your
all the
manager's
lawyers.
job.
It's a lawyer's profession. If it was so easy to just like put contracts together, lawyers wouldn't. Anyway. So yeah, there is that. Just the pace at which it's all happened, it just doesn't sit right. I think that it is. It's looking. I agree with you. I do think he will be at the Storm. It really is. Now, I'm not saying that Lomax is the one that started this. We have been dealing with players breaking contracts and also clubs breaking contracts all the time, like pressuring players, all that stuff. I'm not playing. It's not just the players that do it. It's clubs do it more often than players do it. However, we truly are in a position now where contracts don't mean anything, in my opinion. Like, like, what do they really mean?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. If you are good enough and another club, I mean, not even, if you just put enough pressure on it, another club wants you, you will be released.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that out of the way, thinking of it from a perspective of, is it fair that a heavyweight club, and I know every club should be treated fairly, but a heavyweight club is now about to get an origin player, maybe for unders, because enough pressure is going to be put on the Eels that is trying to rebuild now. That seems quite unfair, in my opinion. Now, I don't know whether that's logical. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but it is the case that a team in a rebuild is just about to give, because there's going to be so much pressure, and also they need to be logical and say, well, we could have a court case with Zac Lomax for 4 years, or we could strike while the iron's hot and get a trade player for him and actually get something for this. We go back to the Dragon situation with Ben Hunt. I know it was very different, but we all kind of maintain if they had a strike while the iron was hot, they could have got something for Ben Hunt, like one of the better players in the comp. Because they waited so long, they didn't really get much. With Lomax, the Eels are in a tough position where they have to play ball now, because otherwise if from a purely business perspective, you take out what's right, what's wrong, or whatever, what's better? Sitting in the courts with Lomax for 3 or 4 years, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, or getting a player for him? Because at this case, it looks like he will never come back and play for the Eels. But from an outside perspective, the Eels, or even if you're just a club that's a smaller club, you'd be sitting there going, how's this fair that a rebuilding club, I know Eels not a small club, but you understand what I'm saying, the Storm, a top-tier club, is getting an origin player now. I don't know.
Yeah, none of it's fair. It sucks for Parramatta. Like they're the real losers out of this. But if they do dig their heels in and don't allow him to play for the length of what the contract was, like no one wins.
What do you get from that?
Nothing. The Eels get nothing. It's one player.
They make a stand for the rest of the comp.
At the end of the day, it's Zac Lomax is a very good player. You know, it's not Nathan Cleary. It's not James Tedesco. It's a centre winger. Like he's not going to change things too dramatically. If they dig their heels in, everyone loses. Which is why, you know, I think the Storm, and it just looks like would be pretty confident that he'll end up down there this year. So, which leads to the only thing that how can Parramatta be compensated in some way for this? And that's with the player swap. And I hope they get someone out of this.
Well, the whispers is, thoughts on, you know, West Tigers in a bit of a rebuild. So you kind of know that feeling of like, you know, these big clubs with these huge resources, all that kind of stuff. Thoughts on the fact that it looks like a top-tier club is about to get an origin player, arguably, maybe for unders. Maybe.
Yeah, you know, it's a well-trodden path for Tigers fans, seeing like players go to the big clubs. And yeah, that sort of, it sucks a bit because, you know, especially if we had signed someone on what we thought was going to be a 4-year deal with the understanding that, you know, if they left, they couldn't go elsewhere. Just, it does feel a bit like the rich getting richer, you know. They're already, what have they played the last couple of grand finals, the Melbourne Storm, they're still in a premiership window. If you're a Parramatta fan, you're probably feeling pretty pissed off, but, you know, I don't know. You got the sense that maybe Lomax's heart wasn't fully in the Eels anyway when he was there. So maybe it's a good opportunity to get someone in there who really wants to be there. But at the same time, they deserve to get like a top tier player. Like Lomax is an international player.
Bloody gun. Absolutely gun.
So they've got to get someone of, you know, that sort of quality.
So there's whispers about Jack Howarth. Super interesting because Jack Howarth has had such a unique path into first grade. Gets this huge 4-year deal from the Storm, which they never do. I mean, I don't even know if Cam Smith got a 4-year deal at the Storm. As a rookie that hadn't, I don't think he'd even played first grade yet, maybe 1 or 2 games. That's the name that's been tossed up. It's a tough one because Jack Howarth, he's a bloody good player. And I know Lomax is a gun, but at centre, can he have as much impact as he has on the wing? I know, in a perfect world, they'd have Howarth and Lomax. Do they still have the same problem, the Melbourne Storm, with that other centre position? Obviously, Meaney is moving on, so it suggests to me that they've kind of said, okay, we love Meaney, but he's not going to be the long-term centre for us. Thoughts on the whispers about Howarth?
I think it's a great swap. And if you take, I don't know either bloke, if you take personalities and questions around culture or any of these sort of things all out of it, and you look at both players on paper, Zac Lomax is the better footballer. The Melbourne Storm are still winning out if they get Zac Lomax and the Eels end up with Jack Howarth, who I think would be a fantastic signing for them. Versatile, he's a very solid centre, can play back row. He's still early on in his career. He's only going to get better, and we can see that. So I think someone like Zac, keep doing it, like Jack Howarth, he'd be great for Parramatta. The Storm cop a little bit of a dent for getting Lomax. I like it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, Howarth, got a lot of upside, definitely shown a bit of ticket, but he's still not at the class of Lomax.
Yep.
Do you feel a bit shortchanged there for the Eels? Probably do. Better than
It's probably a best of a bad situation.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing,
Yeah, it is, definitely. And he's great. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. We spoke about, he might have been in an Origin squad this year.
Mate, I think Howarth, I think he will play Origin.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be one of the better edges, whether it's centre or edge back rower,
Yeah.
for quite a while. I think he's going to be damaging. It's just, will he reach Zac Lomax's level? They're so different. That's why
very
I'm
different.
in my head. I'm trying to get.
I just think Melbourne aren't going to release. If we're looking like for like, we're talking like a Xavier Coates or something. Melbourne aren't going to release like a Xavier Coates,
Not a Warbrick
obviously
either.
So I think Parramatta being realistic go, all right, we can come up empty-handed with this and nothing happens. Or if we can get Howarth, who he's not at Lomax's level, he probably never will be. He might be, but we're not going to get like for like in terms of a genuine star of our game.
Now, I'm not saying this will happen. I'm not saying, I'm not hoping for it to happen, whatever. Is there a risk with the Melbourne Storm that, what if Rugby 360 does turn up in 28 and Lomax leaves?
Well, it probably is. Probably will happen.
And then they lost Howarth.
That's the chat. The 360 is going to be delayed a year.
But then they lose Howarth. If you're a Storm fan, you're sitting there going, "Oh, okay, short term. Wow, Lomax in the centres with Coates outside him."
I wonder. I'm with you. Yeah. So if they go it's a tough one. They have him for 1 year and that's fine, and he helps them potentially win a premiership, but then you lose Howarth long term.
Yeah, you're losing Howarth for the next decade, who you've developed since he was 17, 16.
If you were losing Howarth, you'd probably need to get Lomax written in. You can't leave for after 60, which he's probably not going. It's weird. Oh
it's so weird because it's contracts don't really mean anything.
Yeah, but it got written in that he can't go to anywhere except the Eels, but he's going to be there within weeks or months.
And that's
so
what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter what they write in.
Doesn't matter. That's the risk. I hate to bring it up because unfortunately the evidence is there that could happen. It sucks to say it. I don't want to say it, but I'm just am I speaking out of turn?
I don't know, but if I'm Zac Lomax, I would not be walking into Craig Bellamy's office on a cold Monday morning in Melbourne and saying, "Hey mate, I'm actually out next year."
What do you reckon? Am I wrong in saying that that's a possibility? I don't want to be a hater.
No, definitely not wrong, because 2 years in a row now, before a contract's finished, he's kind of moved on.
Yeah.
So
it's actually more than that. He's pretty much, if he goes to the Storm, he's broken 3 agreements in 2 years, because he broke the Dragons contract, he broke the Eels contract, and then he broke the Eels exit contract. So the evidence would suggest, from my perspective, I get why he left the Dragons. I didn't like that he left the Eels, but I understood, you chase the money. I understand that. I reckon there's a huge possibility that Zac Lomax is sitting at home right now going, I've screwed this up.
I've made a mistake.
I've made a huge mistake here, and I'm not going to do that again. I reckon that's a huge possibility, but I'm just speculating. He has broken 3 contracts.
Yeah.
He has broken 3 agreements in the last couple of years. So the evidence does suggest that, but I reckon Zac Lomax has realised he's made a mistake here.
I tend to agree with you, Matty. I think that is the case. And as I said, it feels gross for me to say, but I think I'd be a bit remiss if I didn't say it, because unfortunately it's the truth. I'm not saying things that aren't true. I hope for Lomax's sake as well, because we're talking about a guy that could leave a legacy. And I know maybe he doesn't care about legacy. Maybe he does. I don't know. But we're talking about a guy that could really leave a legacy in this game. That's how good he is. That's how good he is. So is there anyone else in that Storm side that you can consider potentially?
Well, the one that, and again, it's even less like for like. Well, it's not positional, but in terms of levels, and it's Nick Meaney, who, you know, I think it suggests that Meaney will be going to the Dolphins next year, and we'll get to that shortly. But
No, Meaney's signed with the Bears.
Bears. What did I say?
It's official as well.
Yeah, it's official.
I'm looking at a Dolphins yarn in front of me. I'm like, yeah, so Bears. So he's going anyway. So it's like, again, that's definitely not like for like, but maybe they go, all right, you can have Meaney, he bolsters your backline depth. Positional wise, he's very similar to Lomax in that he covers centre, wing, and fullback.
Yeah.
Goal kicker.
Yeah, a goal kicker. So they go, all right, we're not getting a world beater, we're getting a bloke, and we're adding genuine depth to our roster and coverage of positions. Maybe it's someone like a Nick Meaney that goes.
Would the Eels be silly to look at it like that, though? Like, should the Eels be thinking in their own four walls, this is what's happened, here are our options. Either we get Howarth or someone, even though he's not like for like, but I reckon they should just brush that. Pretty much either we get Howarth or we get nothing. Surely they'd rather get Howarth. And I understand then Lomax gets to go play for Melbourne, but Eels should just be thinking about themselves.
Yeah, I'm with you, matey. I'd be going Howarth or nothing if I'm the Eels. I'd be coming out with and they already kind of have. That's probably why we found out that the Storm approached them, because they want to have a strong front to their fans, that they're not just getting, oh yeah, no worries. Howard, for me, it's Howard or no one. And I'd almost be willing to not take someone for a year to have that stance. Because I just think with Meaney, so we're going to get a solid first grader that is versatile, that, we all love here on this show, for a single year for Zac Lomax.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah. Whereas a Howarth one, it's the closest thing to a fair trade I think you can get. Because I do think, I really do think we're going to see Howarth in Origin for at least for quite a while, as long as he, stays dedicated and all that kind of stuff going forward.
And I mean, part two of this is Jack Howarth has to accept it, obviously.
Yeah. We haven't even spoken
He might be
about
like, no, I'm happy down here.
and I don't want to, respectfully, I was just in a grand final.
Yeah.
With the Storm.
So there's a lot to it.
So I guess, is there anywhere, nothing else has really come out, so we'd just be purely speculating, but...
You mentioned a minute ago, they wouldn't let Warbrick go, wouldn't they? Get Lomax in? I don't know. Another big outside back.
He's had his
He's played international. Has he played for the Kiwis?
Yes.
He's also had his concussion issues.
Yeah, if I'm the Eels, and I hate to say this, and I don't know where Warbrick is. Obviously, he played the grand final, but it is still it's a bit of a risk. Just at this stage, he might be fine, he might be sweet.
I'm with you. I still think Howarth is the one.
Just because he's so young.
I'm just thinking laterally if there's any other names there that might.
Because I thought the same too, as maybe Warbrick, but you'd probably want to see him play another season of footy. Just go, okay, all good, no dramas. It'd almost be like if he was I know he played a few games, but let's say he come back. I mean, it's a little bit different because it's head knocks, but yeah. I just think Howarth really is the only one that makes sense. And if I'm the Eels, when it comes to that negotiation, I would be going into that negotiation saying it is Howarth or absolutely no one. I don't want you guys to think that we're going to budge on this in the next 3 months and you can just wait it out. We will take no one unless it's Howarth.
Yeah.
I think it's the only way to go about this with the Eels. And I think as an Eels fan, if you end up with Howarth, I think you can sit back and go, you know what, this is the best of a bad situation. I think you've because from an Eels perspective, if you don't just talk about other people getting things or whatever, right now, if he just goes and plays Union, you get absolutely no one. You get nothing for it, really. Whereas if you end up with a guy like Howarth, it's okay, this is a bit of a win, to a degree, It's not an exact fair exchange, but it's still more of a win than you would have had if he was playing Union.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be bits and pieces of trickery in these negotiations, but, Jason Riles has a fantastic relationship with the Melbourne Storm. He spent a lot of time there. Him and Craig Bellamy, a great relationship, has coached as an assistant underneath him. So I would like to think between those two blokes, there would be a fair bit of transparency around these negotiations. Yeah,
it's a little bit like the Warriors and Panthers. I think that, obviously Webster and Ivan Clear have a really good relationship. I think you're right, mate. I think there'd be...
I don't think Bellamy is the character to sit there and bullshit one of his good mates in Jason Riles.
It's a good point. It's probably a big part why this even being considered, because they know there's going to be transparency. They know they're going to be fair with each other. Because, you're right, mate. Imagine Riles walking into a meeting with his mate Craig Bellamy, and Bellamy goes, "Oh, mate, sorry, we can only give you Nick Meaney." And I say only respectfully. I'm not trying to disrespect Meaney. Riles would be like, "Mate, let's be fair to him here. That's ridiculous. That is not even close to a fair deal." Also, I wanted to give my mate Luca a shout out. NZ Jersey Hunter on Instagram. They do retro jerseys. They sell retro jerseys. They've got a bunch of, retro jerseys. Anything? Go to NZ Jersey Hunter because he sent me this one, an absolute beauty. He reached out and he said, "Hey Kemby, would you like a signed Campese jersey?" Oh. And I said, "Would I like a signed Camp? Are you serious?"
Oh, Jesus.
Have a look at that,
Whoa.
boys. Have a look at that.
How good.
Suffering your jocks, people that don't have this right now.
What's he done? He's put a little smiley face on it as well.
Yeah, he's a happy man.
Yeah, nice.
Doing all the goosies. No, I don't know if that's a smiley face. What is that? Yeah, is that a smiley? It's a little smiley face. Anyway, NZ Jersey Hunter sent me this.
How good.
Straight to the trophy room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Straight to the trophy room.
How disappointed were you when it wasn't Terry Campese Raiders fans?
Now, I won't say he was the originator of the goosey, Campese. However, he was a big proponent of the goosey, coming through the goose step, known back those days. Now it's obviously known as the goosey. So this is a very proud moment. Very proud moment.
Sick.
So NZ Jersey Hunter, thanks so much, boys. We really appreciate it, bro. What a
03
sick
World
jersey.
Cup?
No, he wasn't
Well,
playing.
no,
before
Campese
then.
wasn't playing. The jersey just looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon that as far as Australian national jerseys go, I reckon that's number one.
It doesn't get much better than this.
Campese was 99 World Cup.
Doesn't get much better than this, boys.
That's sick.
So good. And it's a long sleever too. Love that. So we'll make sure we get this put up in the studio, probably framed. But yeah, Campese signed jersey.
Cracker.
So good. So thank you so much. Thank you, NZ Jersey Hunter on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Absolute legend. Met him up at Magic Round as well. Absolute legend of a bloke. So thank you so much for that, brother. But if you're into retro jerseys, make sure to give him a follow.
If you got any retro Tigers ones, hit me up. Or visit a call. Thank you.
I will say just quietly, the Tigers jersey is kind of growing on me this year.
Yeah?
I didn't like it initially.
Yeah. Holman Barnes group didn't like it too. I don't mind it. Just a little bit different.
Yep.
It almost feels like around some of the jerseys around like the 2012, that kind of era,
Yep.
like a little bit kind of funky. They're doing some different stuff with it, but I reckon they're sharp. Look good.
Alrighty, before we get into the next segment, guys, the Four-Wheel Drive Outdoor Super Centre. Four-Wheel Drive Super Centre is an Australian-owned family business that started to make off-road and camping affordable for everyone. How do they do this? With wholesale prices. Their website will be in the show notes, but go to 4, that's the number, 4WDSUP Super Centre, super spelt with an A, supercentre.com.au. So 4WD supercentre.com.au. You'll see so many different products, including 12-volt camping setups, which are batteries and the gear associated with them, fridges and freezers, which are the same product. They just do both, depending on the temperatures you set them to. There are so many more products, including lithium batteries, the vehicle drawers, swags, camping gear, plus more. Not only that, they have constant sales, bundled deals for many of their products. It's a complete disruption to the off-road and camping industry, bringing overpriced products down, and the winner here is you. Get behind the Australian-owned family business. They do their own R&D and testing in Queensland, so you know they're about their business. To ensure products meet the specs we expect and are fit for the Aussie market. The link is in the show notes. If you need anything camping or outdoors related, Four-Wheel Drive Super Centre is for you, because seriously, these are unbelievable prices. Australian-owned business, guys. They do their own R&D up in Queensland, so you know that they're in the culture. They get the culture. So make sure the Four-Wheel Drive Outdoor Super Centre. And a massive thank you to the Four-Wheel Drive Outdoor Super Centre for supporting the platform, especially like a family-owned Australian business, to be partnering with a really large podcast like this. It's a risk for them, because it's a big budget for a family-owned business. So get around them, guys. Thank you so much to the Four-Wheel Drive Outdoor Super Centre. Aspley Service of the Week, proudly brought to you by Aspley Mazda. Guys, it's an incredible offer. So Aspley Mazda's X event, X Effect, X Factor, X Access, X Rentals for an experience you won't forget. It's the X sale, and it's exclusive to Bloke listeners. Extraordinary opportunity to save. So buy any CX-3 or CX-5 from Aspley Mazda's X rental sale, and one lucky person will be gifted a truly unique experience, a day at the footy in a corporate suite with ex-NRL legends Alex Glenn and Doueihi, and also I'll be there as well, hosted by Luke Camilleri, the car man. These are CX-3s and CX-5s. Look new, feel new, and drive like new, but aren't priced like new. All models are under 20,000 Ks and ready to roll now. So if you're in the market for an SUV, this is your chance to score a near new car without the new price tag. Don't miss it if an SUV is on your list. So you've got the 2024 CX-5 G20 Maxx is 32,844 Driveaway, and 2024 CX-3 Pure is 27,385 Driveaway. Guys, it is an incredible offer to be able to sit in a box with Doral and Alex Glenn. I might even be doing a live show there as well. Make sure to contact Lukey, give him a message, the comment, LDC_01 as thank you to Ask Me Mazda. Okay, and the service of the week, it's the Dragons helicopter. It's the helicopter that got across the line. The Dragons helicopter, a move that worked, the biggest signing while we're on a break. Koloamatangi signs with the Dragons a 5-year deal from 2027 to 2031. Koloamatangi said, I'm excited to join the Dragons. The club's ambition really impressed me. I've been watching the squad they're building and the young forwards coming through, and I want to be a part of driving that next era. I've loved my time at South, but I'm looking forward to bringing my experience and my standards and everything I've got to the Red V. So the reported figure is essentially $1 million a year, a 5-year deal. I think this is an incredible get, an outstanding get. I absolutely love it. The only thing that if I go, okay, in a perfect world, if I could shave 1 or 2 years off it in a perfect world, that would be perfect. However, I understand why they needed to do that. I get it. They need to make a move. They need to be a bit risky. I absolutely love this signing. Timmy?
Cracker for the Dragons, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, if the reported figure, 5 years and $1 million, manager's done well. They've got every cent that he can. But, a few years of consistent, outstanding football, you earn that. And people might sit there and say, yeah, it's on the pointy end of what he's worth, but I don't think anyone would say it's a mile off sort of thing. So, fantastic signing for the Dragons. As he mentioned, like in his quotes, that there's some really good young forwards coming through that squad, and he just adds the mongrel in there as well. And what we've said for a few years, like they have a lot of solid forwards, but he packs the punch. He adds the strike. He adds the fear factor. And they're really going to be a pack to be reckoned with from now. Like Dylan Egan coming through. They've got Hamish Stewart.
Couchman Brothers.
The Couchman Brothers. That's a really good-looking pack that they're building now.
Yep.
And Keon's always sort of said that, or alluded to, I should say, he's wanted to play on the edge. You can tell that. And the depth in the Bunnies pack at the moment and sort of the emergence.
Oh, so you'd play him on the edge of the Dragons?
I think that's what he'll probably do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's never seemed to me like Keon's wanted to play in the middle. And you look at the Bunnies now, we've had the emergence of Tallis Duncan, who to me looks locked in for an edge spot for round 1. Like I've done my predicted teams, and I've got Ewan Aiken, who was like a locked-in edge player for them last year. He's flat out making the bench because of how good their pack is.
What, Keon was flat out making the bench? Oh, Ewan was flat out making the bench.
Ewan
Okay.
Aiken. Yeah. Their pack's unbelievable.
Scared me there for a sec, Tim. I said, what's going on in this
But
offseason?
like, they have... We'll get to the Bunnies later. Their team's incredible. If they can stay fit, like they can absolutely win the comp. So I just think Keon's gone. I could be wrong in saying this. I can go down there, be an 8-minute edge for the Dragons and not play middle.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's better in the middle.
See, I wouldn't pay $1 million for him on the edge. I'd never pay $1 million for an edge player. I think he's the main front rower for him.
Okay.
I really do, but...
You could be right.
You know what? Like, it's a fair point. Like, was that... Because, like, the reports are that the South offered him, like, 800 to 900K. So was that the... And, like, you go, okay, if you got a 4-year off from South or Para, is that extra year worth leaving the Rabbitohs, who was a big club, blah, 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 all that good stuff? Maybe that was the
He was happy at South Sydney, and I'm sure he was playing under Wayne Bennett, a good squad there, and he was offered 8 to 9 for, 3 years or whatever. It's not a huge difference, like...
I guess at the end of your career and you're guaranteed banking that $1 million.
And I think Wayne Bennett's made it pretty clear that he wants him as a middle.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that. I just assumed that absolutely 100% you're only paying $1 million or 1.1 or whatever it's going to be for a guy in the middle. I think you're crazy to be paying $1 million. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm with you. Kimpy, I reckon he'll probably be in the middle somewhere, where it's 13 or in the front row. Same. We're on the same page about the paying that much for an edge back row. Seems a little bit overs for what the market's kind of doing at the moment.
Well, Kawatu was reportedly around 800K, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. I think the fact that he can play on the edge adds a nice string to his bow when it comes to things like Australian selection, Blues selection, makes him a bit more versatile and a bit more appealing there.
Yep.
But I think if you're paying that much money for someone, you want him, leading the charge, being the tone setter, being like the Payne Haas of the Dragons. That's kind of what you're paying those big bucks for. And it's a great signing, really. Like he's just come back from the Ashes tour and he's played some outstanding footy this year. So good on him. I think it's going to be, if they can get someone like him in, that's just kind of a sign that almost attracts other players to head down there as well.
Yeah.
And they might not have said to him, the negotiations, he might not have said, I want to play on the edge and vice versa. They might not have said, we want to play in the middle. He might be going down there in a similar role where they go, you play middle, edge, whatever the situation dictates.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a big part, good part of his, I guess, his, what's the word? What's so appealing about him is he truly can play at an origin level anywhere in the forward pack. Like you can put him in the middle. If you look at his stats in the middle last year, he averaged nearly 196 metres. That's like more than Payne Haas. That's more than Terrell May. That's more than Adam Blake. Now, granted, maybe he played more minutes or whatever. His stats in the middle are of the top tier. Adam Blake is on more than $1 million a year. Payne Haas is on more than $1 million a year. Tarpanow, I'd assume, is now on $1 million a year. And so as a middle, I can go, I don't have him up above Payne Haas, whereas, I don't have him above Payne Haas or even Adam, but I have him in that top tier. So I'm okay with paying them $1 million. On the edge, he's a top tier back rower, but I don't think any back row is worth $1 million. Any in the game. I just don't think that. Matty, love to get your thoughts as a Rabbitohs man.
Well, it's an interesting take, Timmy, that I didn't think of, that he'll play on the edge. I think if he plays on the edge for $1 million, I think it's a bad signing. Personally, for 5 years, I reckon he's one of the best middles in the comp. And when he signed with the Dragons, I was devastated. I am devastated. It's really deflating. As a South fan, he's a South junior. He's a Mascot junior. He grew up around the he didn't grow up around the corner, but he played his footy around the corner. It's devastating. But when I saw, I understood it because their front rowers, no disrespect this year, is Emery Gula and Josh Kerr. If you throw Keon into that to be the leader of the middles, leader of the pack for next year, it's a great signing. And I think, it is 5 years, but if you could shave a year off, sure. But if you could shave the player options off Luai's contract, he wouldn't have even gone to the Tigers. I'm sure he wouldn't have gone to the Dragons if it was a 3 or 4 year deal.
It's part of the whole thing.
So I think it's a really good deal if he plays middle. I think if he ends up playing the edge, I reckon I don't like it at all.
Well, look, if he plays on the edge, I think it's for the Dragons. I think it's terrible.
I think it's terrible.
I think it's great for Keon. It's good on you. Fucking awesome, bro.
Well, they've got...
There's no way...
Through, the beauty of a lot of these young fellas coming through in the pack at the Dragons, they're pretty versatile and they've shown their ability to play middle or edge like Keon does. But Toby Couchman, I think he's probably a middle. Dylan Egan, he was really good on the edge, but I think I still like him. He's a bit like Keon. He's a pretty big boy, but he's got footwork. He's good at the line. I think he's a middle. Hamish Stewart, I think he's a middle. You'll have Jaden Sewer on one edge. Jacob Halengahu, he's probably the wild card coming through that has this enormous ceiling that, again, he's another one who can be edge or middle, but to my knowledge, has spent more time on the edge. So maybe they're looking at Sewer and Halengahu as the edge back rows moving forward. But
I know they've gone a little bit off Leilua, but he's there as well.
Yeah, he's there who looks to be sort of moved into a middle role as well, though. Pacifica Tonga, he's another one who, again, I think is more of a middle. So I think they've got a lot of middles there that maybe they're going Sewer and Koloamatangi as our edges.
Yeah, look, and when I say terrible deal, I don't mean I just think that, imagine, okay, you're paying an edge back rower. If it was 1 or 2 years, I go, okay, you had to pay overs to get this explosive back rower to the club, but a 5-year deal for an edge back rower on $1 million a year, it's not I would take Keon on an edge for $800K a year, easy for sure. But over 5 years, it's an extra $1 million or whatever. So, yeah, that's an interesting take. Honestly, I didn't even think of that.
Neither did I.
I just assumed you're only going to pay $1 million for a guy in the middle. And even there are some people out there that say Keon on $1 million in the middle is still a little bit pointy,
Well, put it this way. Payne Haas was like a gun, obviously, in 2020 or 2021, whenever the Broncos won the spoon. Keon's been a gun in the middle for the last 2 years. Where have South's come? It's not... Keon's been South's best player, and he definitely deserves $1 million in the middle. But, to then reduce his impact even more and then put him on an edge,
waste.
Are you going to improve your team at all? I think no.
And also, respectfully, you've got halves that aren't necessarily edges need halves to get them in good positions in that.
Those halves need to be playing off the back of a bit of momentum, and that's what I can give them.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I guess we'll see. It's going to be, is it the first year on the edge and then they move him into the middle or, so I guess we'll see. However, I think right now though, with what I've had to assume, because you got to remember, most of the year last year he played in the middle at the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, after about round 7.
Yeah. I remember, ages ago we did a photo shoot with Keon, and I remember saying to him, mate, you want $1 million. stay in the middle, bro. Like that's where you're going to get your $1 million bucks. So look, I'm stoked for Keon. I wouldn't say he's underrated, but I still think there's some people that don't know how good this guy can be sometimes. Like, and I respectfully, like, I'm not having a crack at this guy because I understand where he's coming from. But I was speaking to some guy online in the comments section, and he was being respectful. He wasn't being a dick, but he was almost talking about Keon like a stats player. And I was like, mate, I don't know if you've been watching Keon. Like, Keon is not a stats player. He is a game-breaking edge-back rower.
It hasn't helped that South have been poor the last 2 years. Yeah. I think that's a big factor.
Results tell a big story, and the fact that they've been depleted and they've been at the bottom end of the table for a few years now, it comes into it. Like, had they have not had these injuries and they were winning more games and they were top 8 or top 4 and Keon's there leading the charge through the middle, it's a very different opinion from people.
Yeah. Anyway, so great stuff. So that's the Aspley Mazda Service of the Week. A massive thank you to Lukey. We always really appreciate the support. Guys, do not forget main event in KO, Nikita Tszyu versus Rafa, Nelson Asafa-Solomona versus Jeremy Lattimore this Friday, plus a bunch of other gun fights on. It might be the biggest Australian card of the year. At the very least, mostly all Aussie. Obviously, you got Jai Pataya, but that's world stage kind of stuff. Incredible card. You don't want to miss it. It's a grudge match. Nikita Tszyu versus Rafa. Tune in Friday night. Cannot wait. Let's go. Okay, let's get into the rule changes. What's making us grumpy? Or is this turning our frown upside down, boys? Brought to you by Grumpy Coffee. I think this has split the internet, if I'm being honest. Go to grumpycoffee.com.au, the best coffee in all the land, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Just before Christmas, we had our biggest month ever, and that's all thanks to you guys. People are absolutely loving the coffee. We've got over 500 5-star reviews. Think about how pedantic people are with coffee. 5-star reviews, over 500. So go to grumpycoffee.com.au. We've got everyday blend. We've got the darker blend and the very grumpy. We've got pods. We've got whole. We've got ground. We've got it all. Okay, the rule changes. Okay, the kickoff changes have been put forward to the clubs. Conceding team will have the choice to kick off or receive. The 6-player bench has been put to the clubs. Coaches can only select 4 players. Still 8-inch changes. The no 7 tackle punishment. 20-metre play the ball when a player drops the ball over the try line. 6 again change. 6 again is awarded outside attacking team's 20-metre zone, not the 40-metre line, as it currently is. Timmy, what are your thoughts on the rule changes, mate?
Yeah, I mean, they're all different. I don't love any of them at all. I hate a few of them. Like I think the kickoff change around conceding team will have the choice to kick off or receive. I don't think it's actually probably as big a change
I'm with you.
as people would make out. I don't think it changes a heap.
Okay, put it this way. Sorry to interrupt you, mate, because I think I know where you're going to go. If Penrith get to defend you again, they're going to bash the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I think
they'll attack with their defence.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but if it did, I think people are like, oh, this is changing the fabric of the game. Everything's different. Sure, a little bit changes. I don't think it's as much as people think. But I think it's probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's possibly a way of the NRL trying to give teams on the back foot a little bit of opportunity to wrestle back momentum when they're really getting pummeled and go, all right, we want to receive and get through a set and kick down your end and try and reduce the impact of what you're doing when a big side have got a good roll on. But more than anything, I just think, like, why? Who's calling for this? Why does this need to happen? It's a classic NRL. You know, you bring it up every preseason, Kemby, but these potential rule changes get floated to the public and leaked about the same time every year as a way of, you've got a name for it, but testing the public's opinion, a litmus test or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, why do we need to do that change?
Well, the thing I see is this is like, look, I don't know who came up with the rule change. Maybe they know footy in and out. But if you don't have the energy to keep a team in their 40 after a kickoff, what do you think's going to happen to you when Penrith Panthers have a fucking hard on and they've just scored a try on you and you decide to run the ball off a kickoff? They're going to say, boys, fucking beautiful. We'll keep these blokes in their 20 and we're going to bash the fuck out of them. You know how demoralising that is? Look, I understand the surface level idea that you can break momentum, and maybe they've got access to way more math and stats than I've got. I just know as a former player, it feels weird now saying that because it's been so long, but I'd almost love nothing. Like, I just think back to the team that I was playing with, and for a very short time, guys, I know I'm fucking nobody compared to these guys. I just know Shane Webke and Petro and Brad Thorne and Tony Carroll would froth at the bit to get a shot at these boys after a try because, like, you've already got all this momentum, so they're probably not gassed. Like, what gasses your defence? you've got all this momentum. You're fresh as a daisy. You've just scored a try. You're going down there going, boys, we get a fucking free shot at these guys after we've already broken them. You break them even more, in my opinion.
Keep them in their 20. You're then attacking from halfway because the shit kick gets put away.
And you've bashed them too. Like when you've got the ball, it's very hard to bash someone. If you're sitting behind the line, you're Nathan Cleary, and sorry, you've converted or whatever, or you're speaking to the boys, and you just go, oi, Moses, give us 60 seconds. 60 seconds of fucking bashing these blokes. You won't just not change your momentum. You'll completely demoralise the team. How often do we watch in Origin where a try is scored or whatever, or the start of the game where one team is so much more intense? I mean, this year's Origin, Game 3, they couldn't get out of their half. And I actually think momentum, people think momentum's created with attack. I actually think momentum is created with defence. I really do. Why are all the best defensive sides usually the premiership winners? So I actually don't think it's going to have the effect that people think it is. I really don't. I'd love to get your thoughts, Hammy. What do you think?
No, I'm with you. I think it's a good point that you make. Having to defend again straight away, very, very, very tough.
A fresh, so you score a try.
Yeah.
You get the boys together. You're sitting behind the fence, your two front rowers and your edge back rollers or whatever, and you're going, boys, we've got 60 seconds. We bash these blokes and keep them in their 20.
Keep them down there.
They are fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas on the flip side, if you're kicking to the opposition after they've scored, you can say that to your boys, 60 seconds, keep them in their 30.
Let's go. Force an error.
Force an error. If you don't have the energy to do that in defence, what makes you think you're going to run hard enough to crack their defence?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's such a push. We're so focused on attack in today's game that we're not actually thinking about the importance of defence and how much it dictates the game. Like, defence wins premierships. We say it every single year.
Yeah.
As I said a couple times now, but if you don't have the mental toughness to get up and hold someone in their own half for 40 metres just because they're so good, you are absolutely not getting out of your 20. They will bash the shit out of you.
On Timmy's point, though, it just seems like what problem are we trying to solve by introducing this tweak to the, what's wrong with the way that we've kind of been doing? When I first saw there was going to be a proposed kickoff change, I thought they might be throwing out the, shortening the distance that people can kind of run, a bit like they do in the NFL now, how they've kind of tweaked that over the last couple of years. I don't want to see that, by the way, because it had such theatre, especially at the start of big games or whatever. But this one really surprised me. I was like, I haven't heard one person kind of throw it up in the past. Or
didn't we just have our, I know people don't like to say it because it's the Brisbane Broncos or whatever, but didn't we just have one of our best final series ever by a Broncos team that wrangled back momentum?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Through what? Grit, determination, toughness, fitness. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a pointless one.
Yeah.
Matty, just quickly, thoughts, mate?
It might kill the comeback, which that's devastating. There's nothing better than, as you said, we just saw it in the finals. Teams coming back in the last 15 minutes, try. That will pretty much die. That's shit.
As I said, I can only speak from my experience, but I just know that the boys in the forward pack that I was fortunate enough to play a few games in, they would love nothing more than to have an opportunity to defend against you after they've just scored a try. Because then they just break your back.
Yeah.
They just break your back. The six-player bench, boys. I
saw your post about this.
Yeah. I don't know where I sit on this, man. I worry we lose the utility. Now, I know some people have pushed back on that and said, okay, they would carry utility. They just might or might not use them. I just don't know if they would carry as much of a utility. I really think so. I'm trying to think. You'd go 4 forwards.
Yep.
Really, pretty much, wouldn't you?
Yep.
You go probably 2 front rowers, 2 edge, 3 front rowers, 1 edge, maybe.
Yeah.
Just 4 forwards. You'd go an outside back that can cover everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go a half that can cover 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then
There's your 6.
There's your 6 right there. Or, sorry, you'd go 4 forward. So you'd have a 9 for sure. Well, not for sure, but there you go. Yeah. So where's the spot to carry a genuine utility? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because some people say, no, you actually would. But I'm like, okay, so you got your not. If you've splitting, if you've got a genuine 9 that's splitting, you got your 9, you got your 3 forwards, your outside back, and your half.
Yeah. Well, is it the kind of role you've got there, the half? Is that the one that you'd be leading?
See, I'd be going a dedicated half on the bench.
Yeah.
The level you drop when you lose a genuine 7
Definitely, yeah.
is freaking huge.
Yeah.
But why would you carry utility?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you would when you've got an outside back to get. There's a lot of outside backs that can play centre, wing, fullback. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You've got enough to have specialists in all those roles. So why you don't really need the jack of all trades.
But isn't the beauty of our game the mental toughness to be able to...
Well, it's like, it doesn't devalue someone like Tyron Wishart, or it does devalue someone like Tyron Wishart, but under that setup, you can still have Tyron Wishart on your bench that covers all these positions and he's a gun and can cover so much, but you don't need Tyron Wishart. Like every club would kill for a Tyron Wishart as their 14. They can now cover that. So it's still damn good to have him, but you don't need him.
Yeah, like for example, let's say Wishart was at the Raiders, because I just thought of the Raiders. You've got Starling, Owen Paddy for sure. Some kind of rotation there. And let's say you've got Sanders at 7. You're carrying Kobe Black, aren't you? Yeah. Rather than Wishart, probably.
For sure.
Is that wrong?
Especially at the Raiders example where we don't really have a ready-made replacement in the halves. You'd nearly have to move Kyle Weeks to 5'8" or something. So, yeah, you'd carry an out-and-out half.
And I know Wishart is a better 6 than Kobe Black is at the moment, but I'm just saying, when you're looking at the squad makeup, I'm trying to think. Wishart's a tough one because I think he's actually a genuine 6.
He's so damn good.
Yeah. But for most of the players, I don't know.
I like having I think it will, to answer your question that you asked on your post, will it kind of kill the utility? Feels like it probably will. And I really like the kind of the game of chess and the tactics that go along with how am I going to balance my bench and who is that guy that I'm going to throw on there, and particularly around Origin times.
It's the biggest talking point this year.
It's probably the biggest selection talking point that you just about have most years is who's going to fill that 14 role or who can do the role, and it always gets the most opinions about if they got it right or wrong.
That's a great point in Origin, because let's say you've got Cleary and Moses, then you can afford to carry Luai or something. You're not going to carry a utility there, are you?
Origin series have been won and lost on just picking incorrect benches over the years. It's or had a massive impact on it. A 6-player bench does really hurt the fabric of the game. The game changes dramatically.
Yeah. It's a good point.
And then you're also going to have two blokes each week who are just going to sit there in the full kit
game time,
do nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I don't know. There's always an 18th man and things like that as well. But for me, I like the thought and the just the craft that goes into the 14 and the balancing of the side. So I don't know if I love that one.
I think as well. I understand from a head knocks kind of perspective, because the game has changed where more people do get taken off. But surely we could just make it easier to activate 18th mans or something like that. So
here's what I think. I would just do, because it's currently 3 head knocks to activate the 18th man. Make it 2.
Yeah.
They're so prevalent in today's game. We want to look after players and the longevity of the game, future-proof it sort of thing. Make it 2. If the doctors come off, and again, you're going to have issues of, do they fake head knocks and all that sort of shit, but all things being equal, 2 head knocks and you can activate the 18th man, because I suppose a big part of what they're doing here is they don't want to see, you still only get the same amount of interchanges being 8, but there are times where there's 2 head knocks early and an injury and a team are down to 1 player on the bench, and it can be 20 minutes into the first half and you're like, you're not winning this game.
Yeah.
So it covers a little bit more there. I think just make it 2 head knocks, then you can activate the 18th man. But mate, my biggest issue with it, and there are a few, we need to strengthen the game and we need to strengthen the lower grades. If you have an extra 2 players on the bench each week that are playing 0 minutes...
And they're key players too.
I assume you probably don't have your sort of 18th man, that probably goes away because you've got 6 to choose from. But that's, in an 18-team competition from when the Bears are in and then PNG to come as well, that's 36 players, which is 2 full NRL teams that you're taking out of the lower grades. That comes out of New South Wales Cup and or Queensland Cup.
Jeez, that's a great point.
And then from there, you take... That's impacting Ron Massey Cup. That is impacting Jersey Flag. And every grade gets weaker. And on top of that, you've got 2 players per week. Keeping in mind, there's already teams who... We see it all the time where a player doesn't get any minutes in a game. There could be 3 players a week that are getting 0 minutes under their belt. It just stinks on all levels.
It's a really good point about reserve grade, because I stand by this. Look, I'm happy for the boys that they got this, and I understand from a sponsorship perspective it was sexy and all that stuff. I think the under-20s comp hurt the game's development massively. I think they should have invested way more in the reserve grade comps. I know they're different organisations or whatever, but I'll never forget when that under-20s comp came in, you had some of our games that ended up being the biggest superstars in the game who would come into first grade and be in and out the first year because they were so used to playing against boys, genuine. None of the forwards were really, unless you're a world beater, were really ready to go. Whereas I felt like back in the day, and maybe I'm just Maybe I'm being super biased, like, back in my day or whatever. But you got taught those tough lessons in reserve grade, like just little things like playing against men in the middle in a physical game. Like, I'll never forget when I made my Clydesdale debut, and the difference between that and under 19s was like playing against men. It's not even close to this. You know, I understand the under 20s is all about being fast and that, but you're not really preparing yourself for a like product, in my opinion.
Well, you could use countless examples. Let's use the Dragons, for example, where let's say Kyle Flanagan and Daniel Atkinson are the starting halves. You want to carry, as we said, we'd assume you'd probably carry an out-and-out halfback on your bench. Let's say King Tonga.
Yep.
If he's on your bench, this is a bloke who's developing his game. There will be stages where he'll go 2-3 weeks without
really a whole season.
Clubs would need to manage them and get time under their belt. So they couldn't have him there for any more than 2 to 3 weeks, even though he's the best backup, because he needs to be playing some football. I suppose what...
You always want to be carrying the best seven. That's the whole point.
There would be... And again, I know it's hard when teams travel, but there'd be circumstances where, like, right, a Dragons...
The game's after.
Yeah, they sit on the bench, they probably aren't going to get on, and then they go and play cut the next day. But again, when teams are travelling or when the cut play before the NRL team, that's not always going to align. But the problem there's still going to be an issue where they're not playing for 3 weeks in a row.
The tough thing, though, is like, the reason we've extended the bench is so when that problem happens, you have your best guy there. And so, like, the 1 week where you go, all right, let's get you some game time in Rezzies. He's not there.
Yeah.
You know? Fuck. And you've got some guy that's like 3 levels that shouldn't even be playing first grade yet, maybe. You know? So you might even be hurting their development. So, okay, so for example, let's say you've got King Tonga and there's another guy, he's 18 years old. Yeah, he's got to have a lot of future, whatever. But because we need to get King Tonga game, but we need a genuine half to be on the bench, we bring him up, we sit him there just to kind of... And then he gets an opportunity because someone goes down. Like, you could argue, okay, maybe you don't carry a 7, but then it's like, okay, we're weakening ourselves there. Like, that, you're right. Like, I agree with you. That really will change the fabric of the game. And just quickly as well, like, part of the glory of rugby league is watching a battler go out there, play in a position he's not normally supposed to, and do something great.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of what, like, the reason we all love rugby league, the point of difference we have with a lot of other sports is not finesse, it's not skill, it's the mental toughness side of it. That's the difference between rugby league and other sports that we offer is like, not only do you have to be fitter than anything, more powerful than anything, skillful, fit, all that stuff, you've got to be mentally tough. You cannot play first grade and not be mentally tough. And so that's why we celebrate it so much. And I just wonder, like, you know, you lose that moment where Connor Watson goes on as a number 6 or something like that and absolutely rips. And it's like, oh my God, he won us the game in the last 20 minutes as a utility. He was supposed to play this, that.
When a big bopper goes to centre and defends Latrell Mitchell or something and does
Kurt Catewell or some shit in Origin. You're going to lose those moments. No 7 tackle punishment. Play the ball when a player drops the ball over the line. I actually like this one. I think it's mental. If you go to score a try, you drop it and there's a 7 tackle set. I think that's crazy.
Too harsh punishment, isn't it?
For sure.
Like, why should you be penalised for trying to score tries?
They should change the field goal one. Why do you get 7 tackles if you miss? If the other team misses, like if your team misses a field goal, then how's that a 7 tackle set?
Yeah, only thing I can think of is they're trying to promote people trying to go for tries, I guess. Like, maybe. But I'm with you. So, yeah, I think they do change the no 7 tackle punishment. 6 again, change awarded outside attacking teams 20 metre zone, not the 40 metre zone as it currently is. So that would be reduced to the 20 metre zone?
I'm still getting my head around this a little bit, I'll be honest.
Well, the NRL clubs sent an email in asking for more clarity around that one, and I'm glad they did because I still don't really get it.
I need more
6
info.
agains awarded outside attacking teams 20 metre zone, not the 40 metre zone line is currently is.
So I think
it's being reduced from 40 to 20.
Yeah, when you were coming out of trouble, it was never a 6 again because remember how teams would just lie over and... So now it's instead of the 40, it's the 20. So I don't know why they'd go back. I don't know why they reduced. Disagree with that rule.
Yeah, I disagree. I liked the fact that we'd found a pretty good balance. Look, I still think that I understand it was brought into, change the wrestle and it's done that, and that's why I like it. There is some part of me that's like, has it really, like when I see teams just lying on oppositions when they're in their own 10 metre line, like when you're defending a line, I just I wish there was some way where a team could go penalty, like we want the kick a goal or something more drastic than the whole, lie on a player, 6 again, lie on a player on the first tackle again, 6 again. Anyway, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Now, it's hit a roadblock. So the clubs are opposed to this proposed rule. So this is the kickoff one. So I don't think the kickoff one's going to go ahead. But yeah, bit of a mixed bag for me.
Yeah. Back to Timmy's initial point. Most of them, with the exception of maybe the 7 tackle one, the rest of them, I don't really. Yeah.
Well, the thing that tears me up, what makes me most torn is like, I think my bigger priority is like, can we just leave it for now? I feel like we just had such a great year. It's
going good.
Like, can we just let it settle and then maybe consider these changes? For example, let's say they were all implemented. Do you know how hard it would be to be a recruitment officer at a club? Look what happened to the Roosters a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
All those 6 agains happened. Manly Seagulls turned into like the best team in the history of mankind, even though they didn't go on to win it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Melbourne Storm have all these record wins or whatever. So the Roosters go, okay, well, the ruck speed is increased like tenfold nearly. I mean, that's exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to go out and recruit all these ball runners. And then the next season, they go, oh, actually, we're going to bring it back to closer to what the old footy used to be. So, like, as a recruitment officer, you're sitting there going, fuck, how do I land the right squad makeup when these rules are changing all the time?
And then at the end of the day, it's like, well, it's good to change, give fans hopefully what they want is what they should be trying to do. It's like rugby league is a business. Clubs are trying to run businesses. Yeah. It's like screwing us.
I don't think there was anyone really. Was there anyone really calling for that much change after last year's season? I don't think there was. I really don't think there was. So that's that's what's making us grumpy or not. Grumpycoffee.com.au, guys. Okay, the Perth Bears. How are they looking? Don't forget as well, Nelson Asafa Solomona podcast is dropping tomorrow.
Possibly tomorrow.
Most likely.
Definitely this week.
Definitely this week. Most likely tomorrow at 3 p.m. Most likely tomorrow. Guys, you don't want to miss this one. Trust me, Matty. I don't even. You can say it.
So after Nelson left the podcast, and we've had a lot of guests in here, we both agreed that it was at absolute worst a top 5 interview ever.
Wow.
in here. But I reckon it was right up.
It was
there,
mind blowing. So make sure to tune in. You will not be disappointed.
And you will learn some stuff about Nelson that just you would have no idea about now.
Absolutely. Okay, Perth Bears, how are they looking? Curran, 3 years. Wishart, 5 years. Meaney, 4 years. Sean Russell, 4 years. Toby Sexton, 2 years. Great signings. Really, really good signings. I think that instead of having to pay massive O's for these guys, I think the length of the contract is probably what's getting them across the board. Don't get me wrong, I think they're paying more than what their market value is, but blah, blah. I think these is all really good signings. Now, in comparison to what I've read online, though, I've seen a lot of people go, "Oh, these guys are going to, these guys are going to be competitive from the get-go and maybe, land around the 10th mark." I'm not as bullish on that. I actually think they're still going to probably struggle because the problem is this: is like they've probably spent all their money on this, and you've obviously got Liam Henry. Who's the other guy? Can you get a list up, please, of the potential? You got Liam Henry as well. The problem is this: it's not necessarily that core of your team you got. It's the depth. It's the if injuries happen. It's all that stuff that you look at the Rabbitohs. Like they're at full strength. You look at that squad and you go potentially premiership. Outside of the half situation, but potentially premiership contenders. Look what happened with them because their depth wasn't great. Roosters have been struggling injuries years after year. So I love the signings. I think they're great. I'm just not in the camp of like they're going to be, fighting for the 8 in the first year now.
They're solid signings, sure. I don't love them. I'm like, they're all good signings in terms of you're building a roster, you start somewhere. They're all NRL caliber players, but like a lot of them, every player on that list, maybe to a lesser degree Tyron Wishart in recent years, has been in and out of first grade in recent years. Curran's been relatively stable, but even at the Warriors, he was sort of in and out at different times. So like they're good signings. Tyron Wishart's a fantastic signing.
Yep.
That is the one that stands out to me because I've no idea what they got him for, but I'd be pretty confident to be unders. I can see Tyron Wishart being a 14 for the Blues in a few years' time. Like I think he's that good.
Is he a 6 for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people said 9. I've said 6.
No, he's a 6, and he's a bloody good one. Like I think he's brilliant. Like again, Sexton, a good signing, but like a long-term 7, it could work. Like anything, they still need to add some marquees. Like they need some big names and some superstars around them. I think like we were so concerned about the Dolphins in the early years because it was a similar thing. They were building up a lot of fringe NRL players and some week-to-week solid first graders, but there were no real stars. I think what Wayne Bennett did there in the first couple of years was something special that only really Bennett could do. And I also think they had a genuine future superstar in Isaiah Katoa pulling the strings.
And they jagged the hammer off
and
the
they
bench
jagged
at the Cowboys.
hammer.
Yeah.
So, who is going to be the Isaiah Katoa in this squad? Who is going to be the hammer that turns into a superstar sort of thing? So, look, it's early days. They need to add some big names to this list because I don't think they can expect to be like the Dolphins where you go in there and you have question marks around their roster, but no, they'll fight and they'll be good. This is the NRL.
Yep.
You're putting new players together. They're going to take time to combine.
And Dolphins had been around for 100. Dolphins are a club with a culture that exists already,
Yeah. So I think they need a few more big names, but, they've got time. They can still do it, but they need to make some moves. I want to see the big name added to that.
Yeah.
Just one.
Who's the big name, though?
I don't know.
I will say just quickly, look, I think he's a good, solid first go to Sean Russell, but him landing a 4-year deal, good on him.
Friggin' oath.
Bloody good on him because, he was in and out of Eels side. 4-year deal's outstanding for him.
Everyone on that list to be cheering.
So good on him. Hammy, thoughts, mate?
About getting a big fish for the...
More just where do you see the signings? But also, there's some people that are quite bullish on the Perth Bears now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm bullish yet. I'm just having a look. There's a news.com.au article here kind of going through who have they got so far. They've basically got about 12 players that are, can fill their starting 17 so far. 6 of them are from the Super League at the moment that they've got so far, which is not, it's just a bit of a... Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to see that many, kind of to start. And I know there's still early days of signing and whatever, but they've got some good players here. So Nick Meaney, obviously, they've got Chris Vaiala from the Sharks is the one they're talking about today.
He's bloody good, Chris Vaiala. He's a good centre. He's a centre.
Harry Newman, he actually looked all right in some of the Ashes games. Sean Russell, obviously, just touched on. The other wing spot at this stage is vacant. Tyron Wishart and Sexton in the halves. Not bad. I mean, there's a fair bit of chat about maybe Burton ending up there as well if he got squeezed out of the Dogs. But does that mean now that they got Wishart there, have they got different plans, or they're going to cool off on him a bit?
Yeah,
but he's versatile. He can play a lot of roles, but he could be that big fish you're talking about, Timmy.
I don't think do you go after Burton? You got Wishart now. I don't think you do you?
That's interesting because he seemed a perfect fit for them. We'll speak more about the Doggies in the pre-season but. We all sort of think he's potentially on the outer at the Dogs. We could be wrong, but just positional wise, and Mitch Wood's there, Lachie Galvin, etc. But Wishart looks the 6 for me.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Right now, Burton for me is a better 6 than Wishart. But to get Burton across here, you're probably playing. What do you reckon? 1.2.
Yeah, good coin.
Good coin. Whereas Wishart, what do you reckon? 700 they got him for probably. 600,
yeah,
700?
maybe that 657.
Yeah. So it's when you're balancing your roster.
The only thing would be, and I don't think this could happen, but we've seen it done time and time again, is if Wishy could turn into that Jerome Hughes style ball running 7. And they have him and Burton.
And what's Sexton?
I got Sexton though.
Surely you just go Sexton, Wishart, and you stack your forward pack.
If you can get the name, sure.
Yeah.
There's still a few gaps though. They haven't got a hooker yet.
Yep.
So maybe there's a big fish that they can get there in the number 9.
If they could add them, there's not that many of them in the game is the problem, but if they could add either a marquee hooker or just a gun up and coming hooker, I mean, one for them is Jaden Brayley. Again, he's not a superstar, but...
He's NRL quality.
Yeah, he's going to struggle for minutes this year at the Raiders. The reality is, unless there's injuries with Starling and Paddy. But if they sign Brayley, all right, you can build around this, whether he's your starting or he's your backup.
There's only one man that can save the Perth Bears.
Cam Munster.
No.
Who?
Tom Opacek.
Yeah.
Go. He'll lock that edge up, baby. No one's scoring down that edge.
They become premiership contenders if Tom Opacek is locking down that left edge.
Here's the rest of the forward pack. Well, they got so far too. They got Liam Henry, Isaac Fasua Malawi, Luke Smith, who plays for the London Broncos, James McDonald from the Leeds Rhinos, Curran, and Amali Bittengane from the London Broncos as well. So, still a few spots to shore up, and probably they want a couple of more bigger names there, you think, as well.
A lot to do. They need, and again, so much easier said than done, they need a marquee 1 or a 9 to add to Wishy and Sexton in the halves. Really need it.
Yeah. Maybe Pappy after a sabbatical?
Yeah, Pappy would be fantastic.
Pappy would be perfect, actually.
he'd be great
just a bit of
signing.
strike out there. Also, he's a marquee player. You can build around him.
Him and Wishy spend plenty of time together. I like it.
What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, I think when you look back at in the benefit of hindsight, the Dolphins, I think they surprised a lot of people how well they started. They won their first 3 games, and they haven't made the finals yet, but they've been all right. But I think you can attribute a lot of that to to Wayne Bennett and for what you said before, like the history of the club and stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks about Perth, and I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm finding it hard to fire. Like, I reckon maybe in a few years they'll be fine, but just that opening year, I'm not sure yet.
You know what? They need the entertainer. Tane Mill.
Yep.
They need to entertain. They'll bring bums on seats.
He'll put bums on
He'll
seats.
put bums on seats.
Yeah.
Bring the fans back to the game.
Yeah.
You know, get him over there. Get him on a 300 or 400K deal.
When he's available for selection.
The GOAT. The best ever. Yeah, so look, as I said, I think we're all kind of in agreement. Good, solid signings. Like, they've done pretty They've done pretty well here for how dour it was looking there for a period.
They've done some of the hard bits too. Like, they got a number 7.
I will say I'm really interested to see Liam Henry. Like, so interested because, like, he's a good front rower. Good front rower. Still relatively young. Comes from a great system. Premiership winner. Going to have way more minutes. I'm super interested to see if he can go to the next level. Guys, didn't have a journo in this week, but do not forget, proudly brought to you by Code Sports. Use code BLOKE for $49 for a year subscription. And Code Sports supporting the platform. We really appreciate it. People have been loving the segment as well. So that's been, they're the ones providing the journalists. So a massive thank you to Code Sports. And make sure to sign up. It's no BS. It's all sport. It's just sport. Some of the best stories you can get in sport. Oh, yeah, the whole bloke setup is powered by Lontel. And I tell you, me sitting on the couch or in my computer chair watching the Ashes, downloading games, on the internet, watching YouTube, it was glorious. And it was all powered by Lontel, guys. Go to lontel.net.au/bloke. Make sure to sign up. Free 7-day trial, no contract, no credit card required. Best internet in all the land. Won best customer service multiple years running. And if you're a business also, trust me, like, it has changed our business using Lontel. Make sure to go to lontel.net.au/bloke, and a massive thank you to Lontel. Alrighty, it looks like Adam Elliott has signed with the Rabbitohs for 2026. I love this as a depth signing. I really do. And also, like, if he plays his best footy, he'll jag a bench spot for sure. I think this is a really, really smart get from the Rabbitohs. To be honest, I have no questions around their forward pack as long as they stay injury-free. My biggest questions is more around their spine, but I think this is a good, solid get.
It's an outstanding get. Like, the Bunnies are shaping up so... I think they've got close to the best roster in the competition. Big caveat.
The spine.
Can they stay fit? Honestly, let's say Cody Walker stays fit. People say, he's aged and this and that. But if he stays fit, he's still one of the best attacking halves in the game. Jamie Humphries is a good defender. He's well built. Strong ball runner. I'm fine with that as a halves combination. They've got a bit of depth in the spine as well. It's like, I know Peter Mamazelos at 9. Again, he'll do a job. They have so much strike in this team, especially in the back line, that they don't have to be world beaters. I just think if they stay fit, like, you add Adam Elliott now. Adam Elliott has been a starting 13 for the Knights for a number of years now. He might not make the bench for the Bunnies.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I will say I was quite excited about the Rabbitohs, and I still am excited. My temperature just cooled a little bit because and Matty actually feels a little bit the same way. I just look at that spine and I'm starting to become so obsessed with how important spines are. And I go, in a final series, unless you've got the best of Cody Walker, if the best of Cody Walker rocks up, he can go toe-to-toe and beat any spine. Just a little bit concerned when I look at that spine and I look at, say, the Brisbane Broncos, Reece Walsh, Ezra Mam, Adam Reynolds, Benny Hunt. Then you go Nathan Cleary, Talangi, Kenny, Edwards. You go the Storm. You know what I mean? I batch up,
sure.
And I just get a little bit worried. I'll let you take it away though, Matty, because it's your team.
Yeah, like, I think we have a really good forward pack, and if everyone stays fit, we'll be good. I think we've got enough in the back as well. It's just the spine, it could be good, but it doesn't wow me. It's not like that's a premiership spine right there. Like, Jai Gray we think he's going to be awesome, and he's been good every time he's played there, and he's pretty much locked in to play fullback. Cody Walker's obviously a freak, but he didn't stay on the field last year, so there's question marks there. I don't know who the 7's going to be. Like, it could be probably going to be Humphries, but it could be Sullivan. There's also young guys coming through. And then the 9, I have no idea who the 9's going to be. It's either going to be Mamazelos, Bronson Garlic, where does Cheese play? So I'm not... There's too much uncertainty in the spine at the moment for me to be like, boom, top 4.
Yeah. And so I was really bullish on them, and I was top 4 probably end of last year, quite excited. The more I've sat back and let it cool a little bit, I probably have them just top 8 at the moment.
I agree with your sentiments around the concern around the spine. Cody Walker, if he stays fit,
That's the key.
That's the key. It
he
really
is a well-beating
absolutely. Yeah.
halves
I'm with you.
option.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the reality is, yes, he's getting older and there are injuries last year. Prior to last year, he'd never played less than 20 games a year. So it's not someone that you sit there and say he's injury prone or any of this. Yes, he had injuries last year, but there's no reason why he can't be more durable this year, and hopefully he is. Yes, there's a question mark on, I think it'll be Jamie Humphries, but I like what I've seen so far, and I think he's only going to get better. Yeah, I've got him, if they're fit, absolutely top 4.
Okay, Hammy, have you cooled your jets? Are you hot? You're not? Where are you?
Yeah, I was pretty hot on them last year. I think every time you have to throw in the caveat, if they stay fit, I think that's where they drop down a level from they can win the comp to probably top 8. You know, then if they get there and things are going their way, you know, you sort of see what happens. But I don't think you can. I can't confidently say that they can win the comp just because injuries. You know, Cody Walker you touched on a minute ago, been pretty durable to this point, but he's 36 now. 36 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Cody!
Happy birthday, Cody! I'll tell you what, I seen he put a clip of his son playing on his socials.
Oh yeah!
Wow!
Yeah!
Ooh. Wow!
Watch out!
Watch out!
Well, my point is he's getting a little bit
in
older.
Rabbitoh's jersey too.
Oh, I love that.
He's getting a little bit older, and Matty's point around just a little bit too much uncertainty yet about who's playing where. You'd probably like to have a bit of a clear idea of that by now. But
and I'm going to screw with all your minds right now because this is the weirdest question I think you'll ever ask in rugby league. Latrell at his best back at fullback with Cody Walker in the spine. Does that change your mind? Mate, it changes my mind, even though I have him at centre.
I was about to jump in and say a similar thing in that you talk about, come a finals game, do they have the superstars in the spine to beat your Reece Walsh, your Nathan Cleary types? They have the option of Latrell Mitchell.
I know, which is
Jai Gray played so well last year, they've gone, no, let's move Latrell Mitchell to centre. So they're doing that based on form, not because Latrell's injured or anything.
I think that, yes, form, but more consistency to what is required to win club games. But in a final series, I almost want Latrell.
And you keep in mind, Latrell, we saw last year at stages where he played a bit of centre or whatever, he can chime into the back line when they're attacking the opposition line, and he slides in, he can use his ball playing, and they can still get that out of him. So,
Matty, what are you thinking here?
Well, I mean, I think about Penrith last year. They had Tom Jenkins play pretty much every game, and then he played really well, and he probably didn't deserve to get dropped, but they put Alamotti in, and Alamotti played really well. It's like, will that happen this year? If South come 7th, will they be like, elimination final week on, will they be like, do we just need to put Latrell there? I don't know. Obviously, a lot of things have got to happen, but I don't...
It's such a weird question. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us go, okay, week in, week out, you put Jai Gray back there because you know you're going to get 200 metres, good kick returns, certain points on the field, and you can obviously put Trell in that attacking zone to play the ball, and then obviously, you know, vice versa, all that kind of stuff. But like, Latrell is truly, you know, when you talk about guys that can go toe-to-toe with any spine, Latrell can go toe-to-toe with any spine in history at his best, guys. At his best.
Yeah.
At his best.
If the Bunnies have a decent run of health this year and not too many injuries, as we've seen in recent years, and I think Cody Walker's the important one, because if he gets injured, then I am questioning the spine a little bit in the big games.
If he gets injured, I'd write him out of the 8.
Let's say Cody Walker stays relatively fit and he's there come finals time. I think they will at the least play a prelim final.
Yeah,
I think the roster's that good, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, look, I want to be really clear too. I'm not off them. I've just probably readjusted from top 4 to top 8 this year at this stage. They're such a unique side. There's such where you could say, I probably will have Trell at centre during the year in club games, but a finals game, I kind of want him back there touching the balls. Anyway, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is.
It depends. Like if South win the minor premiership with Jai Gray at fullback,
then obviously
you probably keep him there. But like, I think it's if they come, like if it's around 24 and they're sitting in 9th, like then what? I don't know.
It's such a strange one. It's such because like I think I know we all agree. Latrell at his best, he's there every week. He's there every week, easy, like not even a question. So yeah, I can't wait. I mean, that's what's so exciting about this season. So many questions. Okay, Adam Doueihi. It's been reported that Adam Doueihi is a front runner to be the Tigers' halfback this season. Interesting because essentially Benji said that Fainu was pretty much locked into that 7 last year. I'd love to get your thoughts on it.
Back half of the year, I mean, pretty tough to say that Adam Doueihi wasn't the best player at the Tigers. So consistent.
Well, they flipped it. It was like he wasn't wanted there essentially, and then
managed to hang on to him. Still, I mean, look, they still got him. I still think they got him on a great price in terms of balance. If you're starting halfbacks on about $550 or whatever, which is what I think they agreed to with him in the end, that's a good result. He was outstanding last year. I've got no problem with it. I've been a big kind of Latu Fainu fan, and probably this time last year I was like, if you had to choose one of those guys, I'd probably go with Fainu, but he's had some injury issues. He's still kind of finding his feet. He's still very, very young. Adam Doueihi,
was he 20 now?
He'd be 2021.
Like super young.
He's got a lot of time on his side. I'm happy to, Adam Doueihi for me was unreal this year, and probably, put his hand up, bang down the door to say, why shouldn't I be starting with Jerome Luai? And I think those two probably balance each other out quite well. Jerome's a little bit more kind of eyes up, chaotic sort of thing. Doueihi can do the lead the team around the park a bit, but he also had moments last year where he just broke the game open. He did it a few times against the Bulldogs, and I like it. As a Tigers fan, I'm feeling pretty happy with Adam Doueihi as the starting 7. Yeah,
I sort of just assumed Doueihi would be a starting 7.
Yeah.
And Latu, I was surprised there was more talk around otherwise, and just the way the season ended. And Latu is someone who, we see a lot of these players early on in their careers, and he's a solid unit. They have their soft tissue injuries, and they pick up, and I think the world of Adam Doueihi as a footballer, and I think that showed in the back end of the year where mid-season you probably go, all right, the natural progression is Latu in the halves with Jerome Luai, but the Tigers just showed how much better a side they were when Doueihi was in a key playmaking role. So, I think Doueihi in the halves, and that's not to say that Latu Fainu can't come into that starting halves role at some stage, whether it's this year or in the future, but he can play a really good, impactful role off the bench and plays that sort of roaming 13.
Yeah.
I just think it works.
See, that's the interesting one for me, though. Because I don't think it's good for the club. If he's the next generation 7, is he the guy that you want leading you forward for the next 10 years?
Hopefully.
Like if he's,
I hope so. I hope he can, flourish into that sort of player.
I feel like sometimes clubs, to get short-term gain, bring guys like him off the bench when he should be grafting and learning his trade as a 7 in New South Wales Cup. You know what I'm saying? And I just wonder whether if he's coming off the bench every single week, is he getting the reps under his legs as a 7, leading a side around week in, week out?
I don't disagree at all, but I'd be stunned if Latu finally said he was happy to graft in New South Wales Cup. He'd be going, I'll sign somewhere else and play.
Yeah, which is, I don't know if it's good for their footy, Like, you got to... Yeah, I understand we're in this kind of... It's probably always been the case. Young players get impatient. I got impatient. I'm guilty of it. But it's like, especially as a 7, that you've got to have a couple of years where you have truly led a team.
In a perfect world, let's say Doueihi stays fit the whole season, and as is Jerome Luai. In a perfect world, Latu Fainu plays a whole season at 7 in Cup this year and just develops.
Because, ironically, you're doing that because you have so much value in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost the reverse. Like, you're saying, we don't want to play you off the bench because we're banking on you being our 7 for 10 years. And so, okay, that sucks for you. Yes, our team might be a bit weaker because you're not in it. But long term, we're going to be better for it. I don't know.
The Tigers as a club as well would be going, they are investing in this bloke, but with our history, we can't afford to put him in Cup and give him a chance to get upset and leave because it just won't happen. But in a perfect world, yes, that's what you do, for sure.
There's the extra dimension of this as well that, he's got 2 other brothers at the club as well. So if he gets itchy and wants to go, then the other guys go, we want to get out of here as well. So
it's kind of forced, really.
It's a delicate one.
Yeah.
But I am comfortable with Doueihi as number 7 right now for this, especially with the injuries that Latu had. He's still, last year when it was theirs for him to take, when Galvin left, he had 2 or 3 injuries and niggles that kind of meant we had to kind of rejig things a little bit as well.
And, I mean, the reality is he'll get his chances. He'll start some games in the halves and play his 80-minute fixtures. And Adam Doueihi himself's had a really pretty tumultuous few years with injury, so he'll get his starts.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian Kelly. The Eels have signed Brian Kelly, 26 to 27. The Titans have signed a potential replacement in Hiroti. Not until 27, though. I just want to see Brian Kelly be the best version of himself. I have been such a fan of this guy, and he's been like so close to reaching his potential. And there's always just something in his game that just has held him back. I am so intrigued to see Brian Kelly at the Eels with a fresh start. And look, we've only got 1 year of it, but it looks like Riles is a good, solid coach. And it's not even really the coach, it's just the environment, I guess, because Gold Coast have struggled for a few years now. And just see what this guy can be, because like, this is going to sound silly, and people are going to probably push back quite strong on this. But honestly, if you threw Brian Kelly into Origin, there's a chance he does well. That's how much I rate him at his best. Unfortunately, he just doesn't play that as often as he should. Is that crazy, boys?
In attack, he's a top.
He's like Katoni Stacks.
Like borderline
to a degree.
top
Not
five.
the same, but you know what I'm saying.
Maybe a bit generous, but borderline top 5 centre in the game in attack. But in defence, he's bottom 5 sort of thing. They're a great signing for starters. Like they've now got strike on both edges in Pensini and Brian Kelly, especially with Zac Lomax leaving. So they can really get you both sides of the field, Parramatta. It'll be the defence, and you sort of sit there and go, hopefully the Titans, who are one of the worst defensive outfits you've seen year after year after year.
It's a Titans thing, not a Kelly thing.
Hopefully, he has his lapses regardless, but hopefully in a better defensive system under Jason Riles, if he can clean up the defence, he can be a weapon. I mean, he is a weapon. But.
Yeah. And I want to, like, you know, the Katoni, what I'm saying is, like, he's a Katoni style attacking player. I'm not saying he's on his level. Like, to be honest, in attack, like, when it comes to explosive physicality, I'm trying to think of another centre like Katoni, like.
Opachich.
The goat. Yeah. Like, even Bradman Best, another centre as aggressive as Katoni in attack. I'm trying to think.
Talon, mate.
Yeah. I'd still have Katoni's aggression just a little bit above him.
Kind of got that wrecking ball thing, isn't it? Like,
he's just so physical. Just because I've watched so many battles between him and Brian Kelly. So I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's of that nature. And him at his best, as I said, I truly believe him at his best if he cleaned up his defence. Now, maybe he'll never play Origin, but he's the kind of player that I truly believe in Origin at his best wouldn't look out of place. Like that's how highly I rate his potential.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I've always just been a big fan of Kelly. I just think that there's too much inconsistency and also just defensively. But I am like, he's truly a signing to watch next year. That's how I know I'm more excited than probably you boys.
Yeah, no.
But for me, he's one to watch.
Oh, yeah, good timing for them, given Lomax has gone as well. You've basically got someone you can slip right in there and still, give you a bit in the centres. Yeah.
What about you, Matty? What are your thoughts on the Brian Kelly story?
I love Brian Kelly. When he was at Manly, he was in the Origin mix. Like I know he not in the Origin mix as in he was close to, but his name was being thrown around.
Yep.
So he probably has been an unfortunate victim of the Titans, which is sad. But like he's a gun, and I know he's frustrating in defence. Definitely. So hopefully Riles can kind of fix that. But I'm pretty optimistic about it.
Yeah. Put it this way, I think there's a lot of people that footy fans that if he does go as well as we think he can go at a new club are going to be surprised.
Yes.
And I think there's a harder core of audience that watch rugby league that know how good this guy is. If he comes out and we're talking about Brian Kelly as one of the better centres in the competition form-wise next year, I won't be surprised.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that is in him. Yeah. Whereas Shibasaki, for example, I was surprised.
Yeah.
There's no part of me that was like, he's going to be an Origin centre by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Super, super good signing. Lachie Galvin has been working with Roger Fabry in the off-season and has shaved 1.2 seconds off his 60-metre sprint time. 1.2 seconds? Bro, you know how much that is in a sprint? That's actually insane. He's also broke the Bulldogs' 1.2 K time trial. It's like up 20, back 20, up 40, back 40, up 60, back 60.
He broke the Tigers one every year he was there. Now he's got a new club and done that. So
you know what's crazy though? He could get the world record for everything in the history of rugby league. I don't want to see him at 7. I want to see him at 6 doing the damn thing. Because at 6, he's a problem. At 7, he's just not a 7. That is a problem, yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, getting quicker and more explosive in your running almost, as you said, lends itself more to a 5'8". You want to see him run the ball and not pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's correct, and he shaved 1.2 off 60 metres, so not even off your 100. 60 metres. Like, he's already got one of the better running games in the competition, let alone being a young half. If he has become that much more explosive, look out.
1.2 seconds. So, that's like someone runs 11 in the 100, which wouldn't even get you close to a year 12 state 100 metre. It might get you close to a year 11 to running a 9.8.
Yeah, to the Olympics.
No, you'd be the fastest in history in Australia.
And he's done it over 60 metres, not 100.
And so what I'm saying is like, I'm not saying that he's dropped those two things. I'm saying that's how big 1.2 seconds is in a 100 metre, not even a 60 metre thing. Okay, a bit of cricket chat, boys. Bit of cricket chat. Now to the actual that was just all like a bit of a preview, dabble in a bit of rugby league, just whatever. Now we're going deep. Ashes done 4-1. What a good win for Australia. I think that, in my opinion, disclaimer, I don't know shit about cricket, blah, blah, blah. I just think that... 6 sevens? Oh, no. Sorry.
Cancel.
Cancel. To be honest, I really feel that the difference, you could say talent in bowling, especially when we had a full... the cartel. I mean, we didn't even have the cartel, but you know what I'm saying? When we had a full, Cummins, Stark, Lyon. But I just think that Australia are much smarter at cricket, way more mentally tough, and have way higher standards. That honestly, I think that's the difference. And I think the fielding is a really good example of that. Our fielding, there is talent in fielding for sure. There's talent, but a lot of it I'd assume is drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling. Their fielding was diabolical.
Well, interesting point. I don't know if you're getting to it, but Brendan McCullum was interviewed by Nasser Hussain straight after the...
Couldn't get one. Couldn't get a fielding coach, apparently.
Yeah.
Are you... Bro.
He said there's too much franchise cricket happening.
Pull the other leg while you're there.
We couldn't afford one. What are we talking about?
Bro.
What are we actually doing? One of the best resource cricket teams, cricket boards in the world, they couldn't afford...
The national team couldn't afford a fucking catching coach before the Ashes. Bro, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Listen, I know they pay a lot of money in the IPL or whatever, but it's a national side. You can't... Okay, here's an extra 100K or two.
Yeah.
God, bro. That just shows you how unserious they are.
I mean,
that shows you.
Looking at the big money, IPL is also 2 months max.
Yeah.
You
can't tell me that, someone in the SAT 20 at the moment is...
Honestly.
Got more cash in the bank. Well, maybe they do actually. They're owned by a lot of Indians.
They've just been laughable all summer. And we've obviously got this natural Aussie bias, but they've genuinely been... They've been arrogant and so stubborn with... It keeps coming up, but it is Bazball and it's impossible not to talk about it because... In terms of raw talent, we're not that much more talented than them as far as a 4-1 series result goes.
I think us in former, if you take Marnus at his best, you take Uzi back to his best, Steve Smith is... Some
of the batsmen they've got are unbelievable. And I should emphasise batsmen. Our bowling attack is unbelievable. This was literally our second string attack, just about give or take Scotty Boland. But even he, no Cummins one test, no Hazelwood, etc. They're batsmen. Harry Brook is unbelievable. Zac Crawley is unbelievable, but they're just persistent and arrogant with this Bazball and playing aggressively in conditions that didn't suit it was mind-blowing. And I've got to just did some numbers before the show around the best knocks that the Poms had this series and strike rate. So, for example, what would you say is a ballpark, Hammy? A 70-75 plus strike rate, you're going at a pretty good click.
That's pretty good.
Bazball, a lot of the time, they're going at a run a ball. The top England scores this series, Joe Root, and I must say, Joe Root's almost the exception to Bazball where he can just play his natural game because he's Joe Root, but 160 runs at a 66 strike rate. Joe Root, 138 runs at a 66 strike rate. Jacob Bethel.
Root 66.
Jacob Bethel, who's an aggressive-natured batsman, his 154 was at a strike rate of 58. Next on the list, Zac Crawley, another aggressive batsman who plays Bazball. The one innings he reined it in, he scored 85 at a strike rate of 56. Ben Stokes top scorer of the series. 83 runs at a strike rate of 41. There's proof in the pudding that every time they shelved Bazball, they had results.
Yeah, they're a victim of their own. We're doing Bazball for 3 years, to the exclusion of everything else. And then they got about halfway through this series, and then Stokes, he was like, actually, I'm not going to do Bazball anymore. I'm just going to put my head over it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave all these other people who I've been telling for 3 years, you must play this style of cricket. How confused must they have been? And you can't get into the England Test team or most Test teams if you're a shit cricketer. It just doesn't work that way. These guys are good players, but they must just have been so scrambled.
Imagine Ollie Pope.
Ollie Pope is a great example. He's been a great player at times, But I look at a guy like Jamie Smith, who's played some great knocks over in England and prodigiously talented with the bat in county cricket. But some of the shots he was playing, like they just straight away they go, there's 5 guys on the fence, and every time he just keep playing the pull. And then the shot that he played to Marnus,
that's goated.
I mean, that just summed it all up to me. Like so many of these guys, and I don't know, Bethel, he kind of came in when the series was already gone. Maybe the pressure's off a little bit there. But the way that he was able to kind of come in and go, you can actually just kind of like play a little bit more conventionally. And they've got some good cricketers there. But it's going to be interesting to see. Like there's a few guys who need a bit of a spell. They might bring in a few more defensive guys. Dom Sibley, who's had about 8 years out of the side. He's a guy that might come back in. But there's going to be some change here. I wouldn't be surprised if McCullum gets the arse.
So he was quoted saying he will not be told what to do.
I think that's not going to fly. And it's really interesting the timing of some of the stories. Harry Brook being out on the pitch the night before. And like it's almost as soon as they'd finished chatting to all the media out on the field, that story came out from 6 weeks ago when they were in New Zealand. Like, why didn't that come out then? It already looks like they're setting him up to go, you can't control your players. They've got to, they party too much. They don't play enough cricket. And your style has been proven that it won't stand up against the best teams.
I tell you what, your captain getting on the beers the night before representing his country is outrageous behaviour and a reflection of why they are nowhere near the top tier in cricket. Like, if I ever found out an Australian was getting pissed as anything before, like, not only would he have the captaincy taken off him, he would be dropped for a few games. And I wouldn't care if he was our best player. Like, what standard are you setting as a nation that you're allowing not only him to continue captain, but to play on and not get dropped at all? And look, it's a tough one because like part of the consequences should have been that was public and he faced, like, public shame's the wrong word, but like the consequence, he's representing the people. Yeah. So there should be at least, anyway, so they hid it for that long. Yeah. And what message does that send to the rest of the players that the captain can get blind? I don't know if he's blind drunk, so I take that back, sorry.
Well, get in an altercation with a bouncer. Like that's
get altercation with a bouncer whilst on the beers.
Got into altercation with a few bouncers in the middle as well, actually.
Oh, no.
Like, of course their culture is screwed. So you've got that happening. You've got Ben Stokes, who has been a huge proponent. He's so brave. I'm so sick of hearing that. My God. He's so brave. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Maybe it's a rugby league thing. I don't know, but fuck me. Anyway, in the middle, 1.5 tests in, comes out in front of his team and says, I'm going to do the opposite of what we've been doing, and I'm going to block a bunch. He blocks bowling all night, comes out, has the slowest run rate since Headingley, I think, that we obviously had that incredible moment. Like, how can you possibly say that dressing room is not fractured when the captain does that? Like, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. And for him, look, I don't know enough about cricket to fully lock this opinion in, so just take it with a grain of salt. But I think the jury is way out on his captaincy, whether he's a good captain. He might be a solid captain. He might have had some good moments. He's just a really, really, really good player, in my opinion. I don't know if he's a good captain. It might be. Anyway, at least with this tour, I think he was a poor captain.
Yeah, I agree. My questions that I've sort of had, particularly over the back end of the series, where there's just been this persistence with Bazball and just some ludicrous decisions made. I would love to know. Obviously, Ben Stokes has a big say at the selection table, but when they sit there and they go all in on Bazball, that means that you pick the very specific side of aggressive batsmen, to represent your country at test level in red ball cricket.
Didn't they strip it all back?
Yeah, but when they're picking it, I'm like, all right, you have your board of selectors. There'd be sort of 3 to 5 people on that at the ECB. Then you've got Brendan McCullum, who's obviously driving this style of cricket. So how much say is Ben Stokes getting? Because is he getting a squad that he's helping to choose, or is like, all right, this is who you've got, this is the style of cricket you play, deal with it? If he's sitting there saying, no, I want all these players, I want to play this aggressively, then he's got some major issues. I want to know how much say he's got in the selection of this team and the style of cricket. Yeah.
Massive point in it.
Well, didn't England strip everything back to give more power to Rob Key, Brendan
McCullum.
And Stokes? Wasn't that the whole...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like those guys kind of basically getting to do what they want. There's less. That's why there are less coaches. There's not a fielding coach, all this sort of stuff.
Yep. In which case, he's screwed up. If he's got that much say in it,
Yeah.
Well, doesn't that style of cricket kind of reflect him as a person though? Like he's wild, he's brash, he's risky.
That sort of stuff that he can do is like amazing and spectacular when you see it come off. World Cup final, Headingley. There'd be other examples, but that's not a sustainable way. Like you can't play like that every time. And like, not everyone can do that, or in my opinion anyway. So it'll be interesting. There'll be a huge review happen. It sounds like over there, even the county game and the national team are just poles apart. Darren Lehman got interviewed. He's a county, the coach of one of the county sides at the moment. He goes, I haven't spoken to a selector or seen a selector at a game in like 2 seasons over there. And they're picking people who aren't even playing in that, that's like picking players that aren't playing Sheffield Shield, just picking them on white ball tournament form. So, look, it feels like the whole thing was fun for a while, worked for a bit, teams worked it out, feels like it's done now. And unfortunately, I know, McCullum's like, I could probably adapt or whatever, but I feel like they probably just got to start with a bit of a clean slate there.
But also around this style and all that, like Ben Stokes, he'll clearly go down as an England great, one of the best of all time.
Bloody good player.
Can do it with bat and ball, and that's all fine. But like, since Bazball's come in, they've created some of the biggest roads you'll ever play on over in England. Brilliant batting conditions to suit their style of play. Like, you have just 34 with the bat. Like, that is 15 in the early 2000s. I know the game's changed. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm comparing it to some degree apples with oranges, but like that wouldn't get you a start in the bloody New South Wales state side, like a 34 average. So it's like, to think that it has to be based around him and what he wants and his style of cricket, it's like, well, I just don't know. So
I mean, even when. Is it the Harry Smith shot? Was it Harry Smith? What's his name?
Jamie Smith.
Jamie Smith shot. But sorry, Harry Brook. I think is it the what's his name? Nasser?
Yeah.
He was questioning him about, I think it was Harry Brook. And I just think this typifies like where England are at. He immediately, Brendan McCullum immediately went, not too defensive, but he was like, shot selection wasn't that great for this Ashes series, but mate, he averages, I think it was like 44 or something.
No, 55.
55 in Test cricket. And I said, that's the problem right there.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there. Because what you're saying is like, because he already is this good, he shouldn't be better. Instead of saying, that's good for everyone else, this guy is more talent. He should be averaging 60. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, by putting a cap on him by saying, well, compared to everyone else, his average is quite good at Test cricket. Therefore, I'm almost excusing those stupid shots because his average is pretty good. It's like, how about we have both? Have the gun average and don't excuse the dumb shots. Like, I just that mindset of like, there are so many moments in that game, and stats aren't everything, because it's like, it's one thing to have a relatively good average, but when I think Cam Green's a perfect example of this. When you actually look at his stats, they're okay. They're okay. But when you look at the moments that he has, where you just like, you need to win this moment.
And that's that, mate. Like, I generally don't think the gap between the talent in these two sides was as big as a 4-1 series reflects. It was just the way they played. And like, you talk about that moment of Jamie Smith where Marnus comes out and he gets a half tracker and he hauls out to, was it deep cover or something, where we had a man. And then I can't remember if it was just before that or just after that, but Will Jacks, who, been in some pretty decent touch, and his second ball of his innings, he hauls out to cow corner, and it's like, this is at a position where they fought their way back into the match, they put pressure back on us, and they went bang, bang like that, and he went, thank you.
Another 50 or 60 runs there, and they could have won the game.
Massive difference.
I will say Bethel looks fucking unbelievable.
He is, and the fact that he hadn't scored a first-class century before that one, I was like, how's that? I guess he hasn't played that much first-class cricket. He's been playing T20s everywhere, but that guy's a freak, looks seriously good. And he's probably benefited from last year. He couldn't make it back to England for a test that against Zimbabwe because he stayed in India in the IPL with Royal Challengers Bangalore, Kohli's team. So he's like learning off guys like Kohli and, all that sort of stuff is obviously at such a young age to set him up really well to next time they're out here, he could be the captain. He's already captained the white ball team, but he looks like a serious player.
Okay, Australia. Head. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Interesting. Everything's already been said about Head, what he's done. And also his putt after the Ashes is out. Did you see that?
Unbelievable.
And
what about Starkey hitting a hole in one as well?
Oh, my God. They might one of the great all time. The boys
one of the great heaters, those boys.
Holy heckers. But yeah, Head, outstanding. I guess the question is that the Weatherald individually, did he have a good enough series to lock that spot down? Probably not. Probably not. But I don't know, there's something about the vibe between him and Head that I don't actually mind. Boys, what do you think?
He had an okay series. He looked decent at times, but he's a long way from having locked himself in at the top of the order.
Is like, okay, put it this way. If the pairing didn't feel so right, I probably would say maybe bring someone else in. I know what you're saying. The
dynamic felt good. The way their styles seemed to contrast each other nicely enough, but at the end of the day, runs are currency. You still need runs to keep yourself in the Australian cricket team.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I felt like started well, 70-odd. Had a couple of good partnerships with Head. I'll accept that. Started getting out a similar way a lot. When they started banging it in short at him, felt like he struggled a little bit with, especially some of the quicker kind of guys.
I feel like it's because he's so low.
He looks really
can't move
tight,
his feet quick enough.
Really kind of rigid. You're watching him live from side on. He's got his own. It's obviously everyone's got their own style, but he looks pretty tight and anyway. The short ball troubled him from quick bowlers, and I think the next series that they've got is Bangladesh at home here in Australia. That he's not going to get too many guys banging it into him. Then after that, they go to South Africa, where they're the current, like they beat us in the Test Championship final. They got some quick guys who are going to bang it in and ask a few questions. You know, he'll need a very prosperous end of the Shield season, I think, to get a start. The guy I like who's kind of sniffing around and has been there before is Matt Renshaw. He's been in and out of this team a few times.
He was quite young when he first got his opportunity.
Very young. He got dropped, like at the time, basically got dropped for batting too slowly. Dropped a bit of form as well, but he's gone back now. Last year, he was the top run scorer in the one-day comp. He's made a century, and he's right up there. Might be second top run scorer in the Big Bash this year. He's added all these dimensions to his game, and he can either open the batting or he can bat at 5. And I think the selectors really like the flexibility now, like we saw with Head. I reckon he's a guy who probably deserves another chance, and if he finishes the season well, I reckon he's probably better equipped maybe to succeed in South Africa than Weatherald right now. But I do like Jake Weatherald, and I'd love to see him work it out. But he had the full series, didn't quite nail it with a big score. So, yeah, it's definitely, he hasn't locked that spot down.
So it's Bancroft, did you say?
No, Renshaw.
No, Renshaw. Is there a concern with Renshaw, and this might be a really, really silly question, you talked about that, he kind of got dropped maybe for batting too slow. The reason I think the vibe of Head and Weatherald is good is because they are quite aggressive. Like they get the run rate going, they get it moving.
Yeah. I see your point. I think Renshaw's got that club in the bag now, though. He can keep it moving.
He's developed into a very good T20 player, which was never really in his repertoire early on in his career. Like, he's one of the better T20 bats in the country now, and certainly for the Heat. But the other thing is, mate, I think any argument of being too slow, I don't think he'd have that anymore, to be fair. That was just early on in his career. But him and Travis Head at the top of the order, if he comes in, he can bat as slow as he wants. Because when Travis Head's there taking the pressure off and letting the lid off a little bit, I think they can actually complement each other beautifully.
Well, they actually picked him in the one-day side for the first time for that India series leading into the Test summer, and he made 2 or 3 scores over 50, looked pretty good and moved along at a run of ball. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a big Renshaw fan. Love to see him.
And I think even like maybe they give him a chance around Bangladesh and all of that, but he's obviously gone down sort of more middle order. Like, he started his career as an out-and-out opener, and he's sort of batted more 4-5 in recent years. But if they get a bit of Shield cricket into him start of next summer as an opener and just see what he does, but I'm with you, mate. He's class.
All right, Cam Green.
See ya, for the time being.
Could you carry, if you're going to carry 4 seamers, carry him as just a pure batsman?
No.
He's gone no matter what.
He's not the best 6 batters at the moment.
No, he'll have a long future in the Australian Test setup, 100%. But I think he's been very comfortable in his position, having done a little bit without doing a lot. Like, he had a really good innings over in the West Indies earlier in the year when conditions were tough and very favourable to bowlers. He had the big ton over in New Zealand, but a lot of the time when it's mattered, he hasn't really delivered. And when you've got Bo Webster there, who's just been outstanding, I just don't think you need him.
What about the argument that he hasn't really been settled into a spot? That's like, he's been moved
given
up and
a lot of
order.
opportunities, put it that way.
Yeah, he's had a chance to.
Yeah. No, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
No. I actually would have dropped him after his performance in the 4th Test.
Yeah.
I thought that
Same.
I understand the potential and all that, what's good for the future, and I get that, but it has to be a certain standard. And I get, like, if you look at his stats and everything, but it's the moments that matter. If you actually watch, like, if we're just going to go off stats, like, you may as well not even watch the cricket. Just look at the bloody stats and select your side. And statistically, Bo Webster in Test cricket at the moment is, I think,
thought,
he's better.
I thought Webster was hard done by at the start of the series, and he came in and
Yeah.
proved in the back end. Whether or not that would have been at the expense of Cam Green, probably not. Like, Green was always going to be there early in the series, but as it went on, and Green didn't take any of his opportunities.
But like, not only did he not take his opportunities, he made mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the.
And he just looked. I mean, he was not out at the end of the test in a tricky run chase, but there's 3 or 4 times where he nearly ran himself and Alex Carey out. Like, they were just. He just struck me as a guy very kind of unsettled in his thinking and whatever.
I'll be honest with you, I actually think that, and maybe it hasn't come from internally, but to my understanding, it has. Like, they've almost done him a disservice by talking him up so much.
100%.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they had just been like, solid young fella, we're going to try and bring him through, and
Mate, he's one of the most hyped sportsmen I've ever seen to have not actually done that much. It's all been on hype. To your point, that's not his fault. Like, he's not the one wrapping himself in that. He's a very good T20 player because he's so good with both bat and ball and has this all-round role, and he can hit a big ball and he can bowl a good line, and that's why the T20 franchises, the IPL franchises, come to him with $4 million. But I think a lot of that hype then comes on to the test scene. It's like, it's a different game.
yeah. So we'll see what happens there. All right, boys, just quickly. Going to sound silly because we obviously won 4-1. Does Australia have a batting problem? Because a lot of people go, oh, look at that last test. We scored, 500 or whatever in the first one. And then, I know the second one we almost collapsed and lost it, but not almost lost it, but you know what I'm saying. The only argument I'd have against that is, what did we learn new? We got Travis Head in raging hot form, and Smith, who's essentially the GOAT, did their damn thing. Everyone else continued to have... Uzi's gone now.
Inglis didn't lock a spot.
Inglis hasn't locked a spot in. Steve Smith is questioning whether he'll even be in 2027. Like, he hasn't locked, like he said, hopefully I'll be there. It wasn't like, no, I'll be there. Like, if you had to name our batting order in 2 years, would you be confident that that's a top tier side?
Well, there's only, as you sort of said, there's 2 that are locked in. Carey, for me, went above and beyond this.
Yeah,
like,
incredible
they
series.
shuffled him up to 6, which I was like, oh, do you need to do that? And I was like, that was worth it for sure. Thought he was really good. Webster, I think, just needs give him some more time in the hot seat. Like, he's never played a bad game for him. He's always contributed a little bit
more than not a bad game. Like, he's clutched us up.
He's unflappable, the big fella, isn't he?
Like, we couldn't get anyone out, and then he got it with
bowling his offies.
Yeah,
good. But I think So there's an opening spot up for grabs. Number 3, they will persist with Marnus, but he needs to bring, because he went away, did what they asked him to do. He went and dominated the Shield, all that other. He scored 5 centuries across different formats leading into this Test summer, and then he couldn't get a big score in the Test side. Number 5's up for grabs. Does Renshaw maybe get a start there? Maybe.
but also Steve Smith, like 2 years max.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, there's some guys coming through that they're hot on. There's like Ollie Peake. There's a lot of hype about who's captaining the under-19s at the moment.
Had his big moment in the Big Bash recently.
He peaked early. Hit a 6 on the last ball of the game the other night. There's a few guys kind of floating around. A few from Victoria, Campbell, Kellaway. They kind of like the look of the opening batter.
Yeah. But do you feel if you can, and I hate to compare to the best of the best, but is it a little bit of a worry that we're still like, there's a few hanging around, but who's the guy? Like a lot of the best, at least rugby league teams, usually a pretty clear path.
A very ordinary, in particular, Pommy's bowling attack papered over cracks in our batting lineup, yes. As did Travis Head and Alex Carey being unbelievable. So, there are some concerns. It's not panic stations by any means.
Yeah,
we've just won 4-1. But yes, like 2 years' time, the Ashes, it could look very different.
Because, like, let's just say Steve Smith doesn't make the Ashes. We'll be heading in without Uzi, without Smith. Don't know who our second opener is. Like, and also, like, Travis Head, he had like a crazy series, but we still need time to see him as an opener. So that's just a question.
Yeah, there's still a lot of questions to be answered. But thankfully, Sheffield Shield not too far away, so we'll get answered.
Alrighty, that's us done and dusted. Give Timmy a follow, SC Playbook, Hammy a follow. We're going to do predictions.
Let's do it.
Let's do the predictions. Face the music, powered by Sportsbet. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to have a quick look. I want to get your Big Bash winner to win the tournament, and then there's 3 games that we've got up for this week. I'd love to just get your winner for those games. The table at the moment, the Hurricanes are on top, the Scorchers are second, the Stars and the Sixers, your team, Kempy, they round out the top 4. Then the Heat, Strikers, Renegades and the Thunder, they are way out on the bottom at the moment. They can't win the comp anymore, so they're not in the...
Well, I gave my boys the Sixers. Actually, No, I can't betray the Barts.
The Barts?
Yeah, I can't. I locked them in last time. I'll go the Barts.
Yeah, I'm with you to go back to back. $2.63. Yeah, the favourites at the moment.
Up the Barts.
Mate, the Sydney Sixers have Sean Abbott coming in at number 11. It's the biggest, longest tail in the history of cricket. They're going to walk it in.
Wow.
$5?
Yeah, it's great value.
Yep, nice.
I mean, they could dead set still miss finals, but
Maybe
another Brisbane side winning a premiership.
Matty?
Yeah, I'm with Denon just because the great Nathan Ellis shipped us to the jerseys last year. I can't turn my back at him.
Not going to turn my back on the boy.
Yeah, I like the Barts to go back to back as well. $2.63. All right, these games tonight. We've got the Thunder, $2.28. They've only won one game all year. They've dropped Constas. They're a mess. The Renegades, $1.60.
Renegades.
Yep. This is actually spoon bowl. Renegades are 7th.
Yeah, a bit of rain around. Renegades.
Yep.
Yeah, Renegades.
Yep, Renegades for me as well. At $1.60. The Stars, $1.65 host the Strikers, $2.20. Stars retained the Melbourne Mace the other night.
Yeah.
After the Renegades held it for 5 days, they now get it for 11 months.
Oh.
Who is it? Stars versus who?
Strikers.
Okay.
I'll just go Stars.
Okay.
Stars.
Yep.
I'll go Strikers.
Yeah, I'm going to go Strikers, $2.20. They got Alex Carey playing. He looked pretty good last night. And my man Lloyd Pope. Might see a bit of smoke billowing out of the MCG after that one. All right, Hobart Hurricanes, $1.65. They host the Brisbane Heat. Geez, you must be torn here, Kempy.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Look, I'm sorry. I just said I can't turn my back on the Canes, but I'm not going. Like, it's fucking my boys. It's Queensland. I'm going Queensland side.
Yeah, Brisbane, $2.20.
Yeah, Heat looking all right with Uzi back, Marnus back, Nisa will potentially play.
They're smoky.
They are smoky,
Yep.
aren't they? We'll go the Heat.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just saying that. Heat versus Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Hurricanes.
Yeah. I'm going to go Heat, $2.20.
Okay.
Giddy up.
There you go. Basic Music brought to you by Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed. And as usual, we'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.